What it do?
What's going on?
We're back for episode 3. Where there's smoke.
Yep, that's right, man. Episode 3, dude. These are starting to stack up.
Yeah, it's going by quick.
Yeah, I honestly kind of base my weeks off this, like the episodes that we record, and so I'm just like, man, so technically speaking, we're almost a month in.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
After this one, we're 3/4 of a month right here. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, because I'm like, I mean, it's only been a couple episodes, but I already feel like we've been getting a lot of good reactions from folks. Some good and some negative, right?
Yeah, a lot of feedback. It's gonna be good and bad, but now we've been getting a lot of reactions, so appreciate that. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and for those folks who are hating in the comment section, we really do appreciate it.
Love you.
We've what was it on YouTube the other day, or was it today? I think it was today. We uploaded, or Logan uploaded some shorts, and like we had a few folks that were saying, "Oh, like it sucks," and blah blah blah. And I was like, "Well, it is our second episode, but I mean, we got some views, so
yeah,
I consider it a win."
Yeah, we're gonna talk our shit and just give our opinion on shit.
Yeah. So for those who've been watching, thank you very much. Do not forget to like and subscribe. So
hell yeah, comment even if you hate it, have something to say. We love to go back and forth, and we're looking for suggestions in the comments. And so yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that.
Yeah.
And interact, even if you got something. Like some of the commenters are saying shit that like I would say. So at first I'm like, this dude talking the most shit. And I'm like, you know what? I could see me saying this.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, bring it on. All the criticism, constructive or otherwise, we love it.
Yeah. I kind of do. I'm guilty of it too. My guilty pleasure is going on Instagram and scrolling on stuff and like making some pretty stupid comments.
You suck.
Yeah. Well, not even that, because that's too easy. You got to think of something that's a little bit like a little witty, sarcastic, like on the quick kind of deal. But yeah, I don't want to like brag or toot my horn, but I'm a top god commenter, if you will. So like literally, I'll get like on like what is it, like Hood Ratchet TV or any of those big ones, dude. Check on there. You'll see my comments they get a lot of views on Instagram. The Jim Sith Lord on Instagram.
Jim Sith Lord.
The Jim Sith Lord. But it's all spaced out, so it's got like the what is it, the underscore? So underscore the Jim the Sith Lord. Whatever.
You fuck with Star Wars like that or no?
I used to back in the day.
As a kid?
Yeah, when I was younger, Star Wars was pretty cool. And then, of course, I was working out at the time, so I always thought Vader was a little bit, or even the dark side was always kind of cooler.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's kind of my thing. So I just combined the two, the Jim Sith Lord, but then I got fat, so now it's like the Jim Sith Lard. Yeah, dude, like, yeah, it happens though, man. Like you get in shape, and 1 minute you're living in the gym, and the next, you're eating your heart out. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, I want to change it, but I've had that name for so long. I'm kind of like, well, I'll just stick with it. Plus, you can always go back to the gym and work out. So
yeah.
What about you, Instagram or nah?
I don't have one. I was thinking about making one for the pod, but personally, I just don't have one. I really. Like, what is the main, like, what do you, like, okay, you have Facebook, right?
Yep.
So, like, what is the difference? Like, what do you go to Instagram to get?
Yeah.
As far,
Yeah, Instagram, I like Instagram because it's a little bit more faster, straight to the point, whereas in Facebook, you got the image plus, like, the captions.
So, in Instagram, it's more just video and image.
Right,
and very little words.
Right, and if the words, I mean, they're small.
At the bottom, it's just like a small little caption, but it's not like you can't type out a paragraph and no picture.
Right.
Like, where Facebook is like.
And then on top of that, like, you can put the captions in the videos on Instagram, whereas on Facebook, honestly, I almost feel like I avoid videos on Facebook just because I look for the posts, if that makes sense. Like, posts to me, like on Facebook, it's more like kind of like a blog kind of style.
So is Facebook like in between Twitter and Instagram, but just older demographic?
Man, I even hate saying older, but it is.
It is.
It is. Yeah. I mean, most of these kids, nowadays, if you talk about Facebook, they look at you like you're talking about AOL. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like one of those things where, like Facebook, I like it just because, you can type out everything and upload pictures and whatnot. But Instagram is just more, it's more of a compact version of it. And it's straight to the point. You know what I mean? And sometimes you don't even need to put a caption on it because the picture or the video speaks for itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's more direct. You don't need all the fluff.
Yeah, no, that's kind of how I view it. I know there's other newer social medias. I know like TikTok is the one that's the one that I'm not adapting to as well.
That's the new one though. That's like taking over as the top dog. I think. Don't you?
It is, and I kind of feel like that I'm getting that old man.
Man.
Get off my lawn. I'm getting that complex because like TikTok, I just do not have. I can see who it appeals to. It's for people with like short attention
It's
span.
for the younger generation. They want everyone to have a microwave mind.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's if you can't impress me in 15 seconds or less, it's on to the next one. And unless you do something outlandish, that's just like so beyond what the normal thing is, then you're kind of just lost in the mix.
That's funny though because women want to be impressed in 15 seconds
Oh, we
on
already
TikTok,
started.
but they don't impress them at 15 seconds in the bedroom. You'll be a disappointment.
15 seconds. That's not a bad. That's not bad at all, dude. 15 seconds. I think that's a record if you ask me.
That's not a bad time to stay on like a horse or a bull, but it's a bad time to last in bed.
Yeah, no, I mean, dang, 15 seconds. That is kind of short. I don't know that. Oh, some people, that's what that is. Like, you know what I mean? They can't help it. That's 15 seconds. That's their hour. You know what I mean? Man, can you imagine though? Like, that's like a Vine video right there. Did you ever do Vine?
No.
That's another one. That one got taken down though.
What was the deal behind that?
I don't remember. I think it got taken over by another company, or they shut down. I don't know what. I really don't know the story behind it, but I know it was on fire and created a lot of like content creators that are still prevalent to this day. Prevalent or relevant? I don't know. They're still relevant. What's prevalent? Damn.
Prevalent. They're kind of They're similar, but prevalent means like you're coming through. Like I'm not as clear on the definition of that as relevant.
Should we look it up?
We can. Like a couple of dumb
Dictionary.com.
Hey,
there's this
today's episode.
There's this new thing. It's up and coming called the internet, and I hear like it's gonna be doing crazy stuff in the future. No,
relevant is like how impactful you are in your field, or like how impactful and how well known and how influential you are in said field. So like if you're a relevant electrician, that's because everyone knows your name. Even other companies might call you and they get in a jam. Like your name has clout out there because you do good work. You're a relevant company in the electrician game, or what have you. Jay-Z is a relevant rapper because he's put out so much good music over the years and blah blah blah, whatever. That's what relevant is. Prevalent is like in that same vein, but a little different. Maybe we should look it up. Like on the low. Where's my phone?
Come on, and this episode has been sponsored by Webster's Dictionary.
Yeah,
dude, they always put new words. Actually, I forgot the newest one that they put in there, but I know like I think it was Riz. I think Riz was one of the words that they put in there.
I low key kind of hate that word for some reason. I don't
low
know why.
key is another one.
I fuck with that one a little bit, even though it's overused.
Yeah,
but Riz I can't take for some reason.
Really?
Maybe it's because did you ever see Grease?
A long time ago.
Yeah, me too. But the character in there, her name was Rizzo, and like I just really didn't really fuck with her.
So that's why.
Bite the weenie, Riz.
Yeah, they
was like with relish.
But there's some good plays on words though with that. Like they called some like this one dude like a Risley Bear, a Rizzard. Like I don't know. I always like those words that like there's one, the other one was cap. I forgot the other words that they've been putting into the dictionary.
It says prevalent is widespread in a particular area or at a particular time. So I think it's more about like you would use it for an object like a flower.
Yeah.
If you're like the bluebonnets are prevalent right now.
Yeah.
Because you want to say they're relevant because they're not a living thing.
Right.
But they're prevalent. They're coming out. It's like the same thing, but for inanimate objects almost.
Gotcha.
To my understanding.
So yeah, I learned something today.
We learned something. We're not as stupid as we look.
Well.
Anymore.
I don't know, man. I'm questionable, dude. Anymore.
We just upgraded.
Yeah. So what's been going on with you, man? Any new stuff going on in the world of Logan?
just the podcast. I've been sharing it with all my close people, and they're loving it. So that's probably the only people watching right now. But that's cool. I've been just spending time on this, and that's about it, really.
Yeah. Is there anything that you've learned so far, like as far as kind of like, I mean, podcasts? You're completely brand new to this world. You've never done this before, or
Honestly, like I'm new to it, but like just being a fan of uh like Flagrant,
yeah,
Joe Rogan,
right,
Fresh and Fit, and then there's been like a host of others, but those are like the big guys that are still big right now that I can think of.
yeah,
Like where the quality is of like audio, video is good, the work ethic is there. But like watching those guys, you give yourself an expectation and kind of like what you want to aim for.
yeah,
And then what else was I gonna say? Um, but yeah, you just kind of. Oh, and then like um I kind of do music on the side, but I'm not like that good. But just always being around it. I recorded with this other guy who was low key doing rap for a while. His name's Jay Sicko, and like I would go to his house and record.
yeah,
And that's how I kind of got my real basic knowledge for like doing my music thing, and just knowing how to use like the audio interface and how, like
right,
the mic cord and the mic basic knowledge really helped getting this going.
yeah.
But then yeah, I've been watching like a lot of YouTube videos, learning a lot, learning how to like edit clips, and
Yeah.
it's still real basic. But yeah, I'm learning
Yeah.
learning a lot, so it's fun.
There's gonna be a lot of growing pains. This is kind of my second win of it. Those of y'all who are watching this that have known me over the last few years, I had of my own podcast, but that kind of it fell flat, and the reason for it was because it just long story made short, I had a boss that was kind of a hater, and my co-hosts were my coworkers at the time, and it just kind of fell apart, which sucked because we had a lot of stuff going on at the time. But so this is kind of me, like I've done it before, but I didn't do like the logistics behind it. I always kind of had somebody that was doing the stuff for me.
Who was doing like you? So back then you were more or less coming up with like the topics and stuff. Or no, what was your role in it? Like, would you just show up and go, or would you come up with the topics? What was your role in that one?
Yeah, so I was kind of the co-founder and creator of it, and my thing was just to kind of get the conversation going, and then I would have the guys kind of put their input on it. As far as topics, it was always kind of like what was hot in the news at that time period. And so I really wish we would archive those because I do not have those. I feel like maybe we could find them if I asked my buddy, but they might be gone. But long story made short, if it was hot in the news, like the biggest stuff that I can remember when we were doing it was the Las Vegas shooting. I'm sure you remember that one.
Yeah.
Kaepernick was another hot topic with the kneeling of the anthem. I mean, we had a lot of topics that we had talked about, and like I said, we like you and I, we just had difference of opinions on whatever it was that we were watching and observing, and yeah, like I said, that podcast, if for those of y'all who remember, it was called the Ball Headed Ass Podcast, and yeah, it was pretty cool. But again, that was almost like 7 or 8 years ago since I did it. So when you told me about this, I was like, maybe it wouldn't hurt to get back into it, and I love talking, that. Yeah, I love talking, dude. But I think more so, love talking. I love hearing different people's opinion and when they're passionate about it. You know what I mean? I want them to convince me their point of view. Like when you and I speak, you speak with a certain conviction, and it's like this is what your belief is. And so for me, it's always interesting to hear different people's perspective. But I always try to keep an open mind. But you know me, dude. I like to kind of poke and prod and hear. I'm kind of the guy like. I always call myself the devil's advocate. So like when somebody's always on, if you notice when somebody has like a topic or something that they're very passionate about, I will ask questions and challenge what it is that their belief system is in or whatever they think.
Yeah, that's what makes us going back and forth so good.
Yeah, for sure. So man, yeah, really, I mean, this kind of this podcast thing has really been it's fun. I enjoy it, and I already know like a year from now, I mean, it could be. we could be big. Who knows? But for now, we just got to survive these damn holidays coming up.
Dang, you are fucking stressing this shit. Get it off your chest, Josh.
Bro, listen. I am not a negative Nancy.
No, you usually always have a good attitude. Everyone at work, you usually have even when things get low, you usually pretty upbeat.
I'll put it to you this way. if you've ever worked with me, regardless of whatever job it was, I always try to keep the environment friendly, fun, and this and that.
Yeah, you do.
I do my best, and it's because, man, work sucks. You know, I mean, nobody likes to work. Well, our job's not bad. I love what we do. But in general, most people, like when you're at work breaking your back, 9 to 5, or you're on a computer in the office. I mean, that shit can get redundant and mundane really quick.
And you don't know what people's home life is like too and shit.
Exactly. So to me, I always try to keep the environment friendly, try to keep it upbeat. I mean, ask any of my coworkers, and I'm not saying this to again, I'm not stroking my ego or anything like that, but I try to make it fun. But these holidays, man, it pisses me off because to me, like I enjoy, I get it. Christmas, it's fun, it's festive, and this and that. But man, it puts an impact on your wallet. Like I don't care how much money you got. Well, I mean, if you're rolling in dough, it don't mean anything. But if you're kind of middle class, which there's no such thing, by the way, but if you're in that region,
yeah,
it really can affect what you look at when you look at bills and stuff like that.
yeah, and it puts the pressure on you from society that you got to be buying everybody gifts, and
Yeah.
that you're not.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
You go in the store and like, it's like this whole. It's like our last quarter of the year is like planned out for us. There's Halloween. You go in there after like sometime in September. There's Halloween shit already up,
Mhm.
and then as soon as that's out of the way, you go in the store and there's like Thanksgiving shit. That's not as big, but sometimes they already have Christmas shit out, and then they push Christmas real heavy, and it's like this little march at the end of the year. It's like spin, 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 and it's like a visual thing too, because you go in the store and it's like shit's been moved around,
Mhm.
and you see like the holiday shit there, and it's
Yeah.
like all in your face, and then there's more people in the store than normal,
Yeah.
and it's just this whole hustle and bustle. You feel like the Grinch after a while, the older you get, but it's almost like a bit of the romanticness of it comes down, and the curtain comes down, and you're like,
Yeah.
I love my family and I love everyone. I want everyone to do good.
Yeah.
But why are we at like? I just don't feel like the energy is changing in a way. Like, are we all getting more love? Like, we should not change how we act one day drastically anyway. But if we are,
Right.
we should all be more loving during that day. But they don't even do that. It's just like more, like kind of what you were describing. Like just angst.
It feels like,
Like
to me, here's my thing. So like when you were talking about they move stuff around the store, that's retail 101. They do stuff like that. If let me for those of y'all who are not aware, in retail there's a lot of psychology. They move stuff around so that way you get lost in the store, so that way you're like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then you finally get your item. The other thing is, if you notice, one of the biggest things that they'll do is like they put stuff eye level to the kids, like toys, sugary
or by
sweets.
the exit, so they want to get it right before you
In
check out.
fact,
Candy and shit.
grocery stores, the most money that they make is from those front end, like when you're about to check
End
out,
caps or like the side things.
because people are so impulsive in buying, and so they'll do that right out the gate. But there's a lot of psychology, but
And it's not good just because they do it to get more business doesn't mean it's good for our psyche.
Right,
So,
right,
yeah.
right. So here's my thing though. I'm not opposed to Christmas. I get it. Like I said, the cheer fest and this and that. Like I'm all about it.
But
But
the commercial side.
yeah, it's just the thing is, like I said, for those that are like, man, I don't know, like for instance, like my mother, I always try to figure out on, and I don't know how she did it, but with two boys on her own, and I'm just like, I mean, we got 3 kids ourselves, you know what I mean, and I'm like, how did she do it?
I think back then, and I'll speak a little bit from experience, I was kind of like right on the border, but like back then, kids were happier with like everyone wanted a good, exciting gift, but kids were happier with more basic shit because
Right,
it wasn't the internet where you're comparing with every other motherfucking kid of what they got.
right,
You compared a little bit at school, like if you got a $10 toy and the other kid got like a $50 or $100 toy, you'd be a little hurt. But like now, it's like you're competing with every motherfucking body, and it's like, that's just not, everyone has this. I don't remember whenever video game systems became big, when
right,
Xbox and the 360 and the PlayStation 2, when they got kind of affordable, somewhat affordable and real pushed real heavy, the mid 2000s, it became popular. Like every kid, if you were a cool kid, you had to have a console.
right,
So that became like the standard of like gift giving, like if your parents, their most expensive gift, or if they said like it was from Santa or whatever,
right.
but your top gift was like it had to be like this console tier level gift.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before you might have been happy with like something that was special to you, but not as much money wise. But then it became like if the gift that I got wasn't at least so much money, then I'm gonna be like real disappointed.
What was the best gift you ever got as a kid? I already know mine. We
Um,
can do Christmas or
and
birthday.
here's to that point.
Yeah.
I was a fucking kind of a brat sometimes, but like, um, I think it was like my 17 or 18. Like I was already 17 or 18,
Yeah.
and my mom got me a laptop for college,
Nice.
and like it had like flowers on the back of it, and I got like all butthurt when I opened it,
Oh no.
and it wasn't like a whole big thing, but it was like this little thing, and like it just didn't need to be. It was like an honest mistake. And
Yeah.
like it's like, dude, she spent like $200, like, and you're being a little bitch, like.
Dude, that's the worst when you realize when you look back and you're like, man, I was such ungrateful.
Well, I knew right then like what it was, and like I was like, I'm sorry, like I like it, like I right then I apologized for like how I was being, because like I knew I was being like a little bitch.
Yeah.
But like,
but you had the realization real quick.
right then.
There's
Yeah,
some
yeah.
people that don't realize it, and I'm guilty of it until after,
I've
like
done that a shitload of
much
times,
later.
too. Yeah.
My favorite gift that I ever got, my dad got me a Sega Genesis when I was 4 years old. And so that was kind of a big deal. I mean, this was 92, 93 maybe. And my dad got it for me, and I was at Chuck E. Cheese. I mean, I think my parents weren't together at the time. I think they were already divorced. But my dad came through with it, and dude, that was like, and to this day, like I've had some really cool stuff. Even my girl now, she bought me an Xbox when we first got together, the Xbox One, but this was years ago. But the Sega Genesis holds a special meaning to me just because my dad, he was not really around. He was there, but he wasn't around like our dad was.
Yeah.
But the fact that he did that, he knew because that's what I wanted at the time, and for him to come through with it, I was like, dang. And even now, I'm guilty of this, dude. I'm so nostalgic when it comes to like what I watch and listen to.
That shit strong.
Oh, dude, because you it's so funny. As kids, we wanted to grow up so fast. You know what I mean? We're like, man, I don't know about you, but for me, I was like, man, I can't wait to be an adult so that way I can drive, yada yada. And then as an adult, we want to go back to being a kid because shit was so much simpler that back then. But it goes back to Christmas. Like nowadays, kids are so, like you said, microwave. Like they want that. And you said you're competing against everything else. I'm guilty of being competing against myself because we get the kids some pretty cool stuff throughout the year, and when it gets to Christmas, it's always like, well, what do we get them? Like we've already kind of they got everything that they need. So what's really there for them to really have? But when you break it down, dude, at the end of the day, for me, I think this is the most frustrating part is that you realize that a lot of that shit's artificial.
It all is.
It's artificial. It's superficial. Like it's just kind of like, man, if it's not name brand, like, oh man, like for instance, like there's people out there that they don't have the basic shit. They don't have like clothing or whatever. And my kids could be complaining about, oh well, I wanted a red thing versus a blue thing, and it's just like, oh man, it's you have to. Sometimes you have to put your kids in check. Like, hey, you know what? There are people out there that don't have the stuff that you got, and so you have to be real appreciative of it. And I think, like I said, as you get older, you realize, man, like I was being a brat, or I felt like I had that sense of entitlement, and so that's something even myself as an adult, I'm still trying to battle against because it's like, what am I entitled to really?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Christmas to me, like I said, I love it, but damn, it really wears heavy on you.
Well, let's talk about some of the brighter side of Christmas. I'm usually the one who's a bit more.
I'm all Scrooge over here. I hate these.
Fuck this shit. I'm usually the one that's like a bit more of a like downer on Christmas, especially out of my family.
Yeah.
Like I'm the one who like doesn't really want to celebrate as much, and then like I'm the one who like if I always tell everyone. I think we briefly touched on this on the podcast, but if not, like a pre-conversation, and I always tell my family this, like I wouldn't have my kids believing in Santa.
Yeah.
So like, but with that being said, like there are parts of Christmas that were like good for me growing up.
Yeah.
And then like I remember like let's see, I got a little leashed, like Christmas lights. We used to always. I mean, it's something simple, but we used to always go out and like drive with my family and just like look at them. And
right.
Just, like a little activity and just. it's something that just like a good like time of year thing. Um, Cookies is like a basic thing. We'd make cookies. Tree, but we would always go get a real tree, and
Right.
like we would always go out as a family, and like it would be like a little afternoon activity, and like
Yeah.
fucking pick out a tree, cut it down, and
Yeah.
take it home, set it up, and
We only did that once.
decorate the whole thing. And
Yeah.
it's like one of those cheesy things, but it forces you to be like a family and type shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And the real Christmas trees, I can't do them.
And they used to be a lot cheaper. Like you used to get a legit like a tree that was like maybe 5 or 6 feet, like not a giant, but like average. Good
Yeah,
tree.
average
Once
tree.
you put it in the stand, it's like 6 or 7 feet
Right.
for like $50.
Nope.
Now, shit, I don't even know.
Oh, I can tell you right now, they're like 68 for a very small tree, like the little Charlie Brown tree, and then they go up to like $400-500. I mean,
So like a 5 or 6 footer probably now is like 100 or more.
right there.
So it's like double,
Yeah.
about double what it
Yeah,
used to be.
but even then, it's just like I don't know. We did it one time, dude, and
It's a mess too.
So I was living in an apartment. Well, we were living in the apartments at this time, and we got a Christmas tree, a real one, because we thought it'd be like, oh, cool,
Yeah.
dude. I didn't realize you had to water the damn thing.
Oh yeah.
No, we didn't do that, and then all of a sudden,
Start a fire.
bro, it was looking a little browner than me, and I was like, what the hell? Like, dude, hey, I was like, what's going on? This tree was green when we got it, and now it's like, hey, and then I was like, man, it's like, all right, here's this is how lazy I was. So we had the tree. And then I think it was around February. I was like, man, we should probably get rid of this tree. Bro, that thing was just like it was all messed up. So I was like, well, we were living in the apartments, and I was like, man, how do we get rid of
Boy,
this?
somebody far wrong and that thing will light on fire.
Hey, so I was like, I don't know what I do, because they told us specifically at the apartments you cannot throw away y'all's Christmas trees in the trash.
I saw y'all coming.
Well, what I did was I waited till 1 a.m, bro. And I felt like the Grinch, just kind of like, tiptoeing. I was like, dun, 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 dun. And then like I dragged the thing, and I was like, and we live on the other side of the dumpster, so I'm like, and the tree was heavy. Even as it was, I don't know if it made it, the dryer made it like heavier. But anyways, I dragged that shit for like, I don't know, it felt like a mile. And then I threw that thing in there, and I was just, hey, I did this. Then I turn around, and
Boy,
you can
he was a Home Alone criminal.
Hey, then I turn around, you can see a trail of all like
the pioneers going back to his apartment.
Bro, I think I was out there till like 2 or 3 in the morning, just sweeping it and just like trying to get rid of the evidence, bro. I was just like, yeah, man. I thought I was smart, bro. I was like, yeah. I was like,
Boy.
They won't know, dude. You can see the trail all the way from our dumpster to straight to our door, dude. Like, might as well have a neon sign. I was like, hey, this loser. This is their tree. But yeah, dude, the Christmas tree. Oh man.
And then during Christmas Day, when we were like chilling, opening gifts, and just doing whatever, we would always have the Christmas story, because it plays 24 hours on TV.
Oh yeah.
So we'd always have that on in the background.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Yeah.
Dude, that movie
has a lot of classics.
So do you know the kid? What's his name? Ralphie. I don't know his real name.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know this, but do you know the Challenger, the space shuttle that exploded back in the 80s? Do you remember that?
Not really.
Okay, so this was a challenge. So it was called the Challenger. I want to say it was 86. And they had actually had like civilians on board with the astronauts.
He was on there?
No. Oh. But he was actually like hosting it on live TV. And so on the space shuttle, they had like a teacher, like a.
I'm Ralphie in the bunny suit, and tonight.
Hey, I forgot. So he goes, oh fudge. But anyways, live TV. He's like, all right, guys, like and this is on YouTube if you look it up, and he's like talking about like, yeah, here we go, it's liftoff, and you can see this space shuttle, and this was all like live. And he's hosting it, Ralphie, but like not the actor. Yeah. And dude, you just boom, the thing exploded probably like 90 seconds into the flight.
Damn.
Yeah, and he was there, Ralphie. Dude, isn't that trippy?
Yeah, that's weird.
What?
It's just weird. Like, why was he hosting it and all this?
Oh, I think he was just popular at the time. But yeah, he was hosting it, and it's crazy how he was there. Like, it's one of those times. It's like one of those things where, like 9/11, like it's kind of one of those, like, you had to be there to really understand the magnitude of, because you can watch like 9/11, you can watch it on TV or the Challenger or whatever, but I think if you were there, you probably it would hit you different, obviously different.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just like, man, what a life. 1 minute you're over there, not just in a movie, and next you're watching the space shuttle blow up.
Oof.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like, we would always listen to some pretty good Christmas music. My mom, she really fucked with Bing Crosby.
Okay.
You ever heard of him?
Have not.
Dude, you need to put on. He has an album called White Christmas.
Yeah.
With it's like him on the front with like a Santa hat.
Yeah.
There's like probably 5 or 6 on there that are like really good.
Yeah. See, we didn't really do that, man. Y'all went hard on Christmas.
Yeah.
See, that's what me and Amanda, and it's really more so Amanda. She grew up with this. It's
like you started off Mexican and I started off white, and then the older we got, we just like switched or something.
Bro, I'm over here in like my what is it?
You should put him on. You'll enjoy him. He's like sleigh bells in the snow.
I'm gonna come back with a blonde what is it, comb over and some Argyle sweater.
I'm dreaming. It's like that old school choir white.
Chestnuts roasting on an open.
Nah, your kids will like one or two of them though. They're like kind of fast paced.
You know what we did listen to? The Alvin and Chipmunks Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that. Those are pretty good.
Have you seen the King of Queens episode? Have you ever seen that or not really?
Nah.
I fucked with that back in the day, and I like the episode where Kevin James, I forgot what his character's Doug. He's like jamming the chipmunk thing, and then like the dad, he's like kind of grumpy old man.
Yeah.
And like sometimes they get along, but sometimes they fight. And it's like but like he's jamming the little chipmunk thing, and then the grandpa's like, "Man, I hate that Alvin. He's so disrespectful."
Alvin,
like, turn it off. Yeah. He's like, turn it off, change it,
dude.
He's like, that's my favorite part though.
That's funny, dude. You know Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas." Do you know how much money she makes annually on that song?
Yeah, too much.
$1 million at the very least, bro. Can you imagine that? Like you're like $1 million. She's set for life, really, with that song. I wonder how long it took to record it. It probably took like a couple hours. Well, I say a couple, maybe a few hours. How long do you think it takes to make a song?
Not that long if you're really like.
If you're on point.
If you're feeling it.
Yeah.
And especially those musicians, they're like more on point with it and shit. And it's like their job, so they do it all the time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything else you want to talk about Christmas?
Man, for Christmas now. We've been doing the Elf on the Shelf.
Gay.
Hey.
What is that, dude?
So
some more Santa bullshit, make believe faggot shit. Dude, give it up. Don't even get me started, bro. But
so Elf on the Shelf is.
Tell your kids the truth.
No, because here's the thing. It helps make it more festive.
Are you trying to see? I'm like a blend of like having the festive, but not with the bullshit, because I'm trying to cut through the commercialized and like the Santa, Elf on the Shelf, all these big extravagant gift has to be at least 200 or 250 like console level gift, or else. Like kids are laughing at you.
Yeah.
Like we need to get back to like simple, like enjoy the lights, enjoy the music, enjoy the shows, enjoy being with your family. That's the most important thing.
Right.
And enjoy the simple, thoughtful gift. It doesn't have, or no gift at all. Fuck it, just enjoy the cookies and shit and be with your family. It doesn't have to be a gift. Like back in the day, Jesus got the gifts. The Son of God, not you ungrateful fuck.
Dude, what do you think Jesus would like? What do you think Jesus? What do you think was like his favorite toy or his favorite gift? Jesus, I bet you Jesus was simple, dude.
He was, dude.
Like
I mean, and the idea of Jesus is that he was simple.
Like, what do you give the Son of God? Like, what? Like, you literally have everything already. Like, I don't know. Like, that'd be kind of tough to that would be tough.
But
I was like, Jesus.
I feel like being honest with your kids that no Santa, no Elf on the Shelf. It's like Christmas is a time for family and cheer, but not bullshit.
Well, I think it helps spikes the imagination. And it makes it for her, like it's for Ava. We did it for Julie too, and I think Jacob but Jacob was much littler at that before I even met him. But like it helps like make that month a little bit more special, because they wake up like, oh, where's the elf now, and this and that, and so you got to get creative. The only part is you got to remember to do it. Otherwise, like we've waking up at like 10 minutes before Ava, and we're like, crap, that elf. They didn't move it, so you gotta.
This is a whole charade. I don't want to have to lie to my kids, and my kid's gonna be more of a badass because I don't lie to him.
Yeah. Well, he may do off on the shelf with this kid. You never know.
Who? Me?
No, your kiddo
Oh.
in the future.
Oh, brother. Whatever.
And then you're gonna be that grandpa. Well, when I was a kid, we didn't have Alf on the show. We had Snoop on a loop. But
Snoop on a loop.
yeah, like Fruit Loops.
So I've finally been watching.
Actually, doesn't he have a cereal? I think it's called Snoop Loops. Ooh, I think there is
would
one.
Surprise me.
Oh. Anyways.
So I've been watching the Big Brother reindeer games.
Yeah.
That shit's actually kind of like good for a twist of like versus regular Big Brother, because I feel like regular Big Brother, if you watch it, is like they start off with however many contestants, like 14 or 16 or whatever,
Right.
and then it's kind of like a lot of times it's like it's a social game because they're all locked in a house and they have competitions, and like you have competitions to see who gets eliminated week by week. So a lot of times it's like survival of the fittest,
Right.
and like sometimes you get someone who you wouldn't think in the end, but a lot of times like the weak people get cut out first, and then at the end you have some of the stronger people going against each other.
Right.
But it's like more long and drawn out and like a social game. But like the this reindeer games one, which is like a short one, is like more competition based and like much quicker. They're doing like one person is getting eliminated like every day,
Right.
versus like one a week. So
Okay.
it's like super sped up and like quick with like all-star cast.
Okay.
And like one of the games, for example, like I don't remember how they originally grouped it up, but they had it to where this guy, they had a competition and this guy won the super, like the power for that little stretch of time, and his power allowed him to pick his team for like the next competition, which was like a bigger deal.
Okay.
So he picked like all the good people and
Right.
put all the bad people on the other team. Okay. Well, interestingly enough, when they did the competition 4-on-4, which that's what I like in regular Big Brother, it's usually like every man for himself.
Right.
But this doing a lot more team play and shit, so it's kind of interesting. Anyway, they did 4-on-4.
Okay.
The people with all the stack team, like all the fucking badasses, they lost.
Mm.
Somehow it was really good to watch and shit.
Right.
But they had like a lot of pressure, and anyway they lost. So then the rules of this engagement were the winning team of 4
Right.
had to pick one person off the losing team to be safe.
Okay.
So it's like you just win against them and they're your opponents, but now you got to pick one of them to be safe. But like they all have alliances and stuff beyond this little competition for the long term.
Right.
So anyway, shit's going on. So like they pick one person, and the 3 people that they didn't pick, had to go head to head, and the person that did the worst was kicked out of the whole game.
Hmm.
So it put up this dynamic of like team versus team, and then it like just plays with a bunch of people in like minds and rotations and like who's going against each other real quickly.
Right.
And then what happened after that? They had another competition where, let's see.
Which, by the way, I don't watch this show, so like when you're telling me about it, I'm
You
like,
kind of follow what I'm saying or not really?
it's tough unless I'm watching it.
Yeah.
Because my thing is like with Big Brother, like I grew up in the '90s. Oh, you did too. But like
Yeah.
when to me the reality shows were kind of that was back in the day, and so like now for me, it's hard for me to digest the reality shows because there's so much of it.
Yeah.
So, but
No,
I know this is like your guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I like this because like I was saying, it's just changing the way, like usually they're so used to how the game goes and it's like so ABC.
Right.
Now it's like switching it up, and like how they did 4-on-4, and then somehow the best team lost. That was crazy because then and then they chose like one person out of there, and it forced the other 3 to compete against each other, and one got kicked out.
Right.
And then they did another competition after that where they did another little competition to see who would get safety, because they always kind of do that. And then they had that person, and then she had safety, and she was like kind of in charge for that little period of time.
Okay.
And then they have another competition that was like a round robin type of thing where you pick somebody and they have to do it.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. And if they fail, they're out. But if they pass it, the person who you just chose, they pick the next person to go, and that next person has to do it with less time.
Mm.
So it became a very quickly, you could see how like everyone has relationships in the house.
Right.
So it became of like, okay, like if you pick one person and they can't do it and they're out, then that's it. But if several people can complete it, it all of a sudden becomes you want to pick someone first, like that's your ally, so they have the most time, because eventually everyone's gonna have to do it.
Right.
But they didn't know is this something super hard no one's gonna be able to do,
Yeah.
or is it something that's kind of easy, but if you could get to the end when you have 30 seconds, you won't, like, is it a death sentence to go first, or is it a death sentence to go last?
Yeah.
Because they didn't know how easy it was gonna be, and that seeing them going through that mental fuckery over like, and usually they have like hours to think about these things. They had like 10 minutes to think about is this competition hard enough to where you want to send someone good in there that's your ally that can just beat it and then they don't have to do it later, or no one's gonna be able to finish it, so send someone that you don't like in there.
Yeah.
You see, it's like, damn, it was like a mind fuck for them, and it was really good TV.
Dude, you know what's crazy about that shit? That happens at work. Like, and people's in their at their jobs. You got to think sometimes, like, I feel especially in sales, they'll put up like
Yeah.
not teams per se. I'm sure there's teams out there, but like they'll have like they'll have like their hosses, the guys that are like killers, you know, that are really good, and then they put them against each other, and it's just like it's one thing when it's a game show, but then it's another like if it's
real life.
It was real life, because then you're like, shoot, like it's every man for himself. But yeah, the Big Brother thing, what season is it now?
Well, I think it's like they've had 25 seasons, but this is not like a regular season. Like I was
Right.
saying, this is like a celebrity, like a condensed like season.
Yeah.
So, but like shout out to whoever thought about like how to, like, I like the games that, like, the competitions they're doing, and I like the way they're grouping the contestants and forcing them to choose groups and all that shit. Like I was just describing, like,
Yeah.
bravo for mixing it up, because like I feel like this little reindeer games, like, condensed little season, it could have been like lame and like same old, but they really like have me to where I want to finish watching it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
bravo. What else do you want to talk about? We were gonna talk about, this is kind of going with Christmas and the whole thing,
Right.
and we were gonna talk about like kind of I have pulled up the U.S. debt calculator website, and we were gonna kind of go over that, but this kind of would maybe lead into that, kind of go hand in hand with it.
Sure.
But like there's kind of this rumor that was going on probably about a month or so ago that Black Friday, especially this year, was just like played out and maybe not where it's at anymore. And like I saw that was kind of stemmed from, I think maybe you saw it, but like some post on social media from like Target, Walmart, and other places where like the Black Friday sales sticker, they just took it off, and there was like another sales sticker of like the same price under there.
Right.
And I think,
yeah, I mean, dude, it's like we mentioned earlier, it's a tactical thing that, you know, the retail businesses do. You know, you got to think when they're getting these products, like the stores themselves, they're getting it at wholesale cost. And some of them are even cheaper than that.
yeah, but I think back in the day, like let's say they were charged like $2 for it, and they were selling it for like 15. They would mark it down to like 10. They were still making a big profit.
Right.
But I think now, like, they're not even marking it down at all with like the scam this year.
The inflation's so high, it's like
The economy's so bad.
So, and the thing is that I think us as Americans and just people in general, we caught onto it real quick. Like this is not a sale. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where's
like, this doesn't seem cheaper, and then they like took off the thing. And
no, it's.
I wonder how legitimate it is, but it seems like it.
Well, then you got to think. Well, how long have they been doing this? Because I mean, this could have been the whole charade.
Down from the beginning.
Yeah, and we just bit every year now. As far as
in the past, for the most part, you'd see a certain item.
Yeah.
And then you see it like lower, you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah,
like,
unless if it's clearance, all day.
Yeah,
I will buy it 20 times.
And back in the day, I feel like we would see it like, but now that's why people were like, hey, wait, I saw this item a month ago, it was the same price.
Yeah,
like, not buying it.
Yeah, Black Friday, honestly, like with those sales, it. I think again the other thing too was that they were doing it immediately after Thanksgiving, so like people were they were eating their food, and then as soon as that last bite, they were out there waiting in line, and ridiculous lines too. There were people out there like camping. Like I remember there.
You think it's not quite like that anymore? There's no frenzy for it anymore.
No, I mean you go online, you got Cyber Monday. Yeah, do you want to get stabbed for a TV?
Yeah, people would rather pay $10 more and get it online.
I'm sorry, like,
and all these companies have to compete online, so it's driving the price down online.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're a little bit smarter than that. And again, for me to camp outside of your store, it better be one hell of a deal. But I mean, let's face it. Right now, with the economy the way that it is, things are not as cheap. And if they are cheap for a reason, if they are cheap, it's for a reason. You know what I mean? But I feel like with with the economy that we're in right now, I forgot who it was. One of my friends, she went grocery shopping, and she told me she spent $80 in groceries, left with like a loaf of bread, a thing of milk, a few miscellaneous items, and it was $80. Like $80 for something that probably wouldn't, that used to cost like $20 back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, shit's way high.
Yeah.
But like a lot of that is where we're about to get into that's leading to what we're talking about. But like, okay, a lot of people that make like, I would love to find a stat, but I would just argue right now off top, like people that make under 30 are like on government assistance for like food and stuff.
Right.
And like, I don't know. I don't know if that needs to be reworked in some way, but I will say like during COVID, they were giving unnecessary money to those people, and it was just like it was messing up the economy because those people were fine with the money they were already getting. They didn't need more just because there was a virus going on.
Yeah, but everything stopped. Nobody was working.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I
that
mean?
doesn't mean you need more food payments than you were getting. You can if you're on like
Well, it's
food.
not. It's more than food. It's like bills. Like bills didn't stop.
Yeah, but no, but I'm saying like if someone's on food stamps
Right.
and COVID hit, they don't need more food stamp money.
Yeah, but they still need like bills and
No, I
like
know,
car
but they were getting
payments.
more food
See
stamp
that
money.
was
You know
the
what I mean? They gave him like big bonuses and that and
right.
shit.
No, I'm not aware of, but I just know like
Oh, they did it for sure.
I just remember like when COVID had happened, we were still having to make the car like payments. We were still expected to pay the light bill. Like nothing,
Yeah.
the world stopped, but the bills didn't, and so that was the
So
thing.
those payments didn't help you?
Oh, they were clutch. They were clutch.
Here's the thing though, they like
Did you weren't in favor of it at all.
no,
Mm-hmm.
because they basically shut us down and
Mm-hmm.
took all our rights. And here's the bottom line, they lied about like everything with COVID, except for the fact that it was a thing.
Yeah,
Like we know COVID was real, but other than that, they lied about like almost everything.
but we didn't.
Well,
We didn't. We
there
nobody.
was people that knew that at the time, and they
Yeah.
were shut down and shut up and shunned, and like that's a whole other conversation, and that I'm willing to go into. But like they knew we and they knew other people knew they didn't want to fucking listen to us. They called us crazy, etc. Um, and then I don't know where I was going with this, but like
The money that was like
oh
this
the
is
money,
yeah.
and so then on top of all the other like just crooked ass shit they did these fucking COVID payments, and it was something to the tune of like half the money in the circulation was printed during
Mm-hmm.
that time.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, that means all the money in the U.S. Let's say there's $100 in the U.S. just like kindergarten style. There's $100 in the U.S.
Right.
That means they printed another $100 and put it into circulation out of thin air.
Right.
What do you think that does to the value of that other $100 that was already in circulation? It's now half as valuable.
Right.
So they did that on a huge scale where they printed all this money and gave it out, and it helped people that were in a pinch. I get that, but then it made it made the economy that much worse
Yeah.
immediately following.
Well, you got to
And
think
and
also.
everyone spent that money right away because
Yeah, you were.
it went right back to and because all the small businesses were closed,
right.
most of that money went right back to Walmart
Mm-hmm.
and all these big companies.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, even Amazon. I think that was the most profitable time for Amazon because everybody was home. They had money. They weren't going anywhere, so let's shop. And my thing was like, when people were getting the money, it was kind of like this was to kind of help you just squeak by. You know what I mean? This
Yeah.
wasn't. It wasn't a large
Let
lump
us go to
sum.
work. If you supported COVID in any way, shame on you. That's one of the things that gets me the maddest about anything.
Yeah,
That was a fucking sham.
yeah. Well, you got to think too. The
And I
other
knew it
thing.
at the time, and people didn't want to listen. Even my own family.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get into a huge knockdown, drag out fight, so I just let it go. But it's like looking back, it's like,
Yeah.
man, it's just hard to know what the right decision was. But it's like I knew better than to listen to these.
And we're still feeling
Freaking
those effects too.
weirdos.
We're still feeling those effects too because you got to think all the stuff that was in production immediately halted. You know what I mean? So meaning those like at the time like there was no cars being made. There was no, you know what I mean? So all
A
the stuff
lot
yeah.
of shit.
Yeah, so it's like all right, and then the chips that were needed for like all the little pieces that were made for the car, like those were being, you know what I mean? So it's like all right, cool, let's build the cars, but now we don't have like the computer chips for it, you know what I mean? So now we gotta, so it affected a lot of stuff, and to me, like I said, during that time, it was just kind of like it was kind of like man, we didn't know what was gonna happen. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I would thought to me honestly, I thought I was gonna die. Like I was like, I thought, hey,
Gosh.
we didn't know anything about it.
We did know, bro.
The first March when it first. So here I'll tell you this much, and I've already spoken this about before. So I got COVID January of 2020, not March. Like when March came around, that's when it started becoming a big
You already
thing,
had it.
huh? I didn't know it at the time. That's what it was. But months later, that's when I put the two pieces together, or and I was like, oh shoot, that was COVID because it affected my sense, my smell and my to taste and everything. That happened in January, and then when March rolled around and it started becoming a big thing, then all of a sudden they were describing the symptoms, and I was like, oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So I mean, it very much was a real thing, but we didn't know if it was contagious through like if it was airborne or if it was like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm talking about. Did we know it was bullshit? I don't know. I just knew like I was as much as I was going out like networking and stuff like that. To me, it was like it could kill me if we really wanted to.
Yeah, we didn't know anything in the very beginning, but we knew that they knew nothing because there was no time to study it.
Yeah, I mean there wasn't unless they knew what it was. Well, see, here's the thing. So, God, I hate to get into conspiracies. I know this is your like this.
This is not even a conspiracy. It's
Well,
just the truth.
it, the truth, we'll never know the truth.
No, we know the truth.
At the end of the
We
day,
we know we
we don't even know who killed Kennedy. Dude,
No, yeah, that's true.
that's what I'm saying.
But we know that that was a real life conspiracy, not a conspiracy theory, right?
What the COVID?
Kennedy died. That was a
Oh,
conspiracy, not a conspiracy theory. It was a conspiracy. Someone conspired against him to have him killed.
right.
We don't know exactly how it went down, but that's the truth, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone.
We don't know.
fucking knows that.
We have
Now,
what is it Oswald the guy that
whatever.
supposedly killed him?
But we like. So do we know like the whole truth? No, but we know like a framing of the truth. Like we know he was someone conspired, and we know it's pretty well known that like our own government
Mm-hmm.
conspired against him. So it's like I don't know what all that means,
Right.
the implications there, but we know that much.
Right. But we do
So
not know the actual truth.
right,
Right.
it's like COVID. It's like we know that they lied and that they could have handled it a lot better, and that they, above all, here's what I want to emphasize: we know that they used fear to push us to do things, even if they didn't know if what they were saying was true. So, do we know if COVID was man-made or not? No. Do we
Wait, I
know?
thought it was man-made in China,
We don't know for sure.
in
For sure, like we
Wuhan.
don't know the absolute
Oh, that's
goddamn
what
for
you're
sure
saying.
truth.
Okay,
We don't know.
gotcha,
I'm saying that.
gotcha,
Honestly. We don't know
gotcha,
the full truth. If
gotcha.
it was man-made
Well,
or created.
that's what they say though.
They said
That's
that it came out of a lab.
yeah, from
We don't know
Wuhan.
if the release was intentional or not.
Right,
We don't know if how the government's handled it. But what we do know:
right.
that when they came out and said, what did we just say? They said like early on, uh,
About the symptoms, or
um, we know that as soon as it came out, they had no research because it was brand new.
right.
So anything they said in the very beginning could not be true, and then they started saying things that contradicted themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and then they pretty much settled in on it only has a death rate of like, what was it, like super low, like less than 5%.
Right.
And when they said that and they pretty much stuck with that, then I was like, when you're telling me that the death rate is pretty damn low, like comparable to flu rate, whatever
Right.
flu, it was comparable to the flu.
Right.
So when you're telling me that, and then you're also telling me it's so brand new that you don't have a vaccine for it yet,
Yeah.
those two facts right there are telling me, and they never changed on those two things, is telling me I don't need a vaccine because y'all don't have one that's been tested
Right.
because it's brand new. And if the death rate's similar to the flu, I'm just going to take my chances. And y'all are pushing fear. So those things I just knew better than to listen to them.
So, like, as far as when they announced, like, so let me ask you this: so when we slowly saw this thing growing, because at first it was like in China. I remember in November of 2019, or yeah, 2019. There was like, oh, China's this and that. I didn't care. I'm not in China. And then I think it was closer to March, like I mentioned, there was little cases that happened. Did you at all go, damn, like this is going to be really bad? Or at what point did you go, this is a bigger issue than I thought?
As soon, like by March 2020 or April 2020, I was already feeling like I was already confident that this was not gonna be like a killer.
No. I'm asking, what did you go?
But when I knew this was a fucking big thing and that this was a government that this was a fucking nightmare for the people,
Yeah.
like influence, like not disease wise, but like influence wise and like the mind fuckery and like the when I knew that
Yeah.
is probably like I want to say like in 2019, like early on, and I don't, man, I want to look it up, but like the NBA, I was watching NBA game and it like like stopped it like halfway
Mm-hmm.
through. When was that, in 2020 or was
20.
that?
That was 2020. So
But I knew in 2019 when they were calling it COVID-19 and they were
see, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear. I think November, like I said, is when I saw. But they didn't call it COVID-19. They called it coronavirus, in like
yeah
November. But here's so I was working in downtown. I was working at Easy Street Capital, which if you need hard money lending, hit them up. Kelly Smith, she's my homegirl, should connect you. But shout out Steven and Casey, Ashton, all y'all. They took care of me during that time. But when I was there, I was on the 11th floor of the Indeed building in downtown Austin off of 5th in Colorado. And in the office that I was in, I was sharing it with a couple, like with it was Casey and Ashton. We were in the office, and you can look over the side, like at the window, and you can see everything downtown, like downtown on the ground. You know what I mean? People walking,
yeah
pedestrians, and all that stuff. And this was South by Southwest was about to start. I remember this now. And so we were, me and Ashton, we'd always look over the edge and we just see people, just kind of doing whatever. South by Southwest started, they were like putting the banners up and more people were coming. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, the Austin's getting ready to pop. Well, COVID had already kind of, it poked its head a little bit here and there, but it didn't make like national news. And then all of a sudden, I think it was Twitter that pulled out of South by Southwest. And so I was like, okay, like Twitter, because for reasons about the COVID-19 thing, and I was like, damn, that's kind of a big one, like that's a big company, but everybody else was still in play. Then I think Facebook pulled out. Then all of a sudden, the companies started pulling out, and then I was like, wow, like this is starting to become a really bigger issue. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, I'm driving back to the office, which for what was going to be my final day there, I didn't realize it, just because we were going to have us work from home at the time. But when I was driving there, I saw all the bars on 6th Street starting to get boarded up. You know what I mean? Like
Ooh, yeah.
that's when I was like, this is starting to become like a real thing.
See, I knew when they started closing up bars and certain things like that, I knew that something was fucky.
Yeah,
because that's never happened before.
No, it almost looked like they were trying to brace for like a hurricane. You know what I mean? Like put like the plywood and everything up, and I was like, this is really getting really big. And so I just remember they told us like, hey guys, grab your stuff that you need, and we're gonna go ahead and work from home. And
don't let the government tell you what to do when no one even knows what's going on.
But here's the thing: the
mind is a weapon.
But hold on, the mind is a weapon. But
they didn't even know what was going on. It was brand new. So how can they tell us to close up and go home?
But nobody knew at the time.
I know no one knew. So how can you tell me to go home?
Well, who you're not gonna go home, and then what? You're gonna be sitting in the office by yourself. Like at some point, yes, screw the government, but I mean at the same time, it's like, dude, if everybody's dipping, I mean, you really you can't do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a shitty time because it was like, man, it was one of those times when
you don't have any leaders or thinkers. Everyone's just a follower.
Well, nobody knew where to go. Like that's the thing.
I knew better than to get the vaccine. I can tell you that shit. Because by the time that came out, as I said, I knew that they had been around. The virus had been around for less than a year, and they had been researching it for that amount of time. They're like, this is an experimental vaccine, first one that's an RNA versus whatever. And they were like, and COVID was new, so they only had a certain amount of time to research that to get a vaccine for it. It was the fastest vaccine that had ever come out.
Right.
And at that time, they had flip-flopped on the way COVID transmitted.
Right.
And they had stayed constant saying that the death rate was constant with the flu. So it's like, and that seemed consistent with what I had seen in society.
Right.
I did not see people dropping, like some people were dying, but not like flies.
Right.
So I was like, okay, the death rate's not crazy. Like even people that get it are not like, unless they're like super old or already sick, most people... There are very few people that were totally healthy and got it and died.
Yeah.
That did happen, but it was very few.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like, okay, like based on what I know, I'm not going with this because their evidence is super shaky
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, why would I believe them?
Yeah.
And they're using fear. That was the main thing. It's like, it was super clear to anyone, maybe not at the time,
Yeah.
but looking back. And at the time, I knew if you were sober minded, you could tell they were using fear big time, bro. Joe Biden's like, if you haven't, something about like the time is up. If you haven't done it, enough is enough. Get a vaccine. Get vaccinated today.
Yeah.
Just like, it sounded like some movie, like Darth Vader type shit. It's like, no, thank you, dude. Like,
Yeah. Did you do it? So do you think you did it because out of rebelliousness, or was this like your own decision? Like,
I did it out of rebelliousness and my own decision. Like my soul was telling me, like, dude, no.
Yeah.
It was such an easy choice.
Yeah. No, I got the vaccine. I think I already told you that.
Do
And
you regret it?
no, not really. I mean, my sixth toe that I grew is fine, but you know, other than that, I will.
Don't you want to be stronger than like what they tell you to do though?
As far as what,
Like,
I mean, I don't. I'll put you this way. I haven't
like
noticed.
what would have been like? What if you didn't get it?
I don't know. I'll never know.
I didn't get it, and I was fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think you and I look pretty healthy. I mean,
My fear and my concern is that like, okay, so I'm saying like whether or not you believe me, like if you would have known me back then, you would have known what I'm saying is true. Like I knew it was bullshit pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
So my point to that is like I want people to be like me prepared for like I don't know the exact situation that's gonna come, but like I have a healthy distrust of the government and like I know like man, I don't want the government to come up with something else quick that seems like a disaster in a hurry and people to make a decision quickly out of fear. I want them to know like I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like I just want man, it's hard to vocalize like
Yeah.
but I just want you to know that like a disaster can happen.
Right.
So when a disaster happens, like don't be surprised when like the government tries to push you to make a hard choice. The hard choices are coming.
Right.
So think about that now. If I have to choose between living off the land and like barely being able to eat and like not being a part of society, like that's super drastic. But like work through these scenarios in your mind. Like there's gonna come a point where the government's gonna force you to make an ugly decision. And if you know that now, even just that fact right there, I might have to make an ugly decision that like is uncomfortable. You'll be that much more ready for it in the future versus if you just think nothing's ever gonna happen.
Right.
If you just think, man, there might be a choice where I have to make a hard choice and I'm gonna do the right thing.
Right.
That right there will like slow it down when you have to make the choice and make you in a sober minded. Even if you still go with like the status quo, you can make a sober minded choice
Right.
versus making one out of fear because I feel like they're going to try to push us to make a choice that's way more important soon based off of fear. And they have this sample size of like, okay, if we push really hard and scare the people and do it real quickly in this way, we can get 80% of people to do what we want just off of fear.
Right.
And like that, what if they...
So this was a test. This was a trial run to see if the sheep would follow.
If we just push them real quick,
right?
And they just do it.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that, and it makes sense. Now, as far as the regret, I kind of going back to it. I don't necessarily regret getting the shot, but I did still get I still got the COVID.
Don't you want to be a badass?
I am badass. What are you talking about?
Doesn't that mean like rebelling against the government to you?
Not all the time.
You don't see it that way.
I mean, there's some stuff in place that they put in there for good, like like a seatbelt.
Did the government do that? I guess they passed a law that made it mandatory.
Yeah, because they were
I
tired
don't wear
of
a seatbelt.
I wasn't gonna snitch on you. Hey, if there was a guy that hates seatbelts, like you're allergic to those things, dude. Like when we're driving, I'm not lying. Like sometimes, dude, I look at you and I'm like, man, Logan, like put the damn thing on. But I'm just like, maybe he just doesn't like it touching his neck. I don't know.
God got me.
He said, God got. Oh, he's gonna get you all right when you hit that pavement. My thing is this though, like there's some like I get it. I know what you mean. Like there's times where the government does some stuff and I'm like, what?
No, Josh, they always do shit, bro.
Listen, they always do something, right? But my thing is this, like, if it's like, for instance, when I took that COVID shot, I didn't think for a second. I was like, oh, this thing's gonna kill me. I did not have that belief.
I thought I am not gonna let these cocksuckers tell me what the fuck I have to do. Fuck these dudes.
Do you
Bro, do you respect Fauci and Biden? I look up there and I say, these dudes I don't fucking respect. I don't respect none of them, but I could just blow it, bro. It was so easy to see
You
that it
can't
was like.
be 100% anti-government.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like the government we have now, and like my thing is like we could get all into that, but I just want to focus on like the COVID thing
Sure.
specifically because we could delve into the whole
Sure.
anti-government thing. No, you
Sure.
can't be totally anarchist. Is that what it's called?
I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
agree.
so.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's
Um,
just pure chaos
no,
at that
I
point.
agree. I agree. Anarchy is stupid, but like during COVID,
Mm-hmm.
bro, you could just tell. Like, I, I wish I would have fucking taken notes on like the things that made me know more, so I could in depth about it now.
Right.
Or we would have been doing this podcast now, so I could have just broke it down and we'd have that. But like, bro, like I just knew at the time, and I don't know where I was going with this, but like, oh, I just knew that like you couldn't trust the government, and like,
You know what always pissed me off? Those videos of the guys that were like, that kind of had the same attitude as you towards it, right? And they'd be like, man, this blah, 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 like this COVID, blah, blah, blah. Like they would talk so much shit on it. And they'd be like, I'm not getting the shot, blah, blah, blah. And then
they got it.
they got it. And then they were recording themselves dying on the hospital bed. And I'm like, oof. Like that's kind of, and I don't know if that's karma because you're bringing that, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know, man.
but I think I didn't want to be the guy that was like,
see, I was against it all, like even the mask thing too. Like that was fucking gay.
oh, God, after a while, like, that got old. Did you ever go grocery shopping during COVID?
Oh yeah, dude.
Whew,
See,
man.
I hated the mask thing the whole time, but here's the thing, like I didn't want to be the person that was like a problem.
Like what?
Because I knew that I was on the minority side.
Oh,
I knew how it looked.
You didn't want to wear the mask on.
Oh fuck no, dude.
They had some good designs out there. Like there were some cool ones.
But
out there.
it's like fuck this whole thing, dude. But I didn't want to be because I knew everyone thought like I was wrong, and the people that thought like me were dead wrong.
Yeah.
And see, that's man. There's this guy that I watch. Shout out Pockets of the Future. You are a motherfucking real one. Anyone that wants to get into like truth and they don't want like some over the top cringe Alex Jones type. You just want no, yeah, because I know how it can be if you're trying to like look into
Get the masks. You want to?
Turn the Frogs gay. You know, but I know how it can be. So like, but if you're trying to like look into alternative media or like you're like, man, the government's fucked. Like I just want somebody that's like thinking for themselves and that I can maybe think for myself. Paul Romano, the guy who runs Pockets of the Future, he's humble, he's grounded, and he just gives you like a real like base level thing, and he it's not panic,
Right.
It's calm, collected, and it's cool, calm, collected, and he's a base perspective on like the truth.
Yeah.
And I agree with like a lot of what he says, but
you know the masks thing. Can I tell you something about it?
but real quick,
Yeah.
I just did it because I didn't want to be a problem because I knew how it was gonna look when I'm in the minority
Yeah.
and everyone else disagrees with me, and I just didn't want to be like. So I did it for the most part, but I hated it.
Yeah. The thing about the masks though, what I kind of liked about it was it made everybody look mysterious. You're like, I don't know if you're ugly. Or I don't know if you're pretty. Like everyone was kind of on the same playing field. You know what I mean? Like it was some kind of you know what I'm talking about?
No,
you don't know what I'm talking about. Like there's people that I work with
it for the babies because it like.
Oh, baby, yeah.
Like I was dating this chick at the time, and like she had some young kids, and like they had to wear the mask, and like the one little girl started thinking like it was a cool thing, and like I want my mask, and it's like no, this is not a cool thing. Like this is a lame thing, and like kids don't know any better. They want to do what everyone does.
Yeah.
And like it also they were saying like psychologists at the time and shit were saying like it's not good for kids to like not be able to see your whole face and like because like a lot of our communication is nonverbal, so you look at someone to see like how they smile. Like,
so that was a thing, and that's what I said. It leveled the playing field because you honestly didn't know
but
what
it made
anybody
everyone
looked
more
like.
depressed. Even when we're out, we couldn't smile at people. Everyone just like more like down and like we were like robots and shit.
No, I agree. I just there's times where somebody's talking to me and I'm like, oof, put that mask back on because that breath. Oh, like dude, that mask was it did some people a favor.
Yeah, right.
I know you hate that mask, but hey, but do you remember those pictures of the people that before the masks they were wearing like these stupid homemade contraptions like I saw somebody put like a milk carton over their head. It was just like, is that real?
They thought it was in the very beginning. They said it was airborne for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just didn't know. They didn't know shit about it.
No.
Do you want to go over this debt shit real quick?
I mean, I guess I'm honestly like, I hate the word debt.
Really?
Oh God, it's worse. It's to me, debt is like a herpy. You know what I mean? It's like that thing just will not go away.
Okay, and I don't know what this means, but they said debt per citizen is 100,000.
Oh damn.
I guess they're taking the entire U.S. national debt and dividing it by person, but that's not like a totally accurate. Let's see. There's some more accurate numbers. Let me go through.
Do you got debt?
No.
Dude, I got debt.
Oof.
I hate debt. It sucks because you literally become a slave to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And luckily for me, I'm managing it correctly. It took me a couple years to kind of get my footing, but now it's like it's finally like kind of becoming. It's a monster.
Yeah.
You ever seen the movie Gremlins?
Yeah.
You
Oh
know,
well, no, I've seen the trailers and
yeah,
shit.
that's literally what debt is. You put water on it, and it just boop 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 boop.
Average savings per family is like 11,000. That's not bad.
Nah,
Um,
I would venture to look into that even more.
really. Here's the number I wanted to focus on. The median income in 2000 was 32,000.
Okay,
The median income now is 36,000.
and that was from 2000.
Yes. 23 years later, the median income is only up 4,000. That's terrible. By comparison, median home in 2000 was 168.8, so almost 170.
Okay,
So we had 32 income,
wait, how's that possible? If the average?
170 median home. Because that's taking all the homes, so that probably seems like a little high, but we'll go with it.
Okay,
Median, okay. So the median income in 2000 was 32. Median home was about 170. Median income now 36,000. Median home now 40 excuse me, 400,000.
that's a lie. That's average.
Yes.
That's a lie.
So it's you think it's way higher than 400
I think it's lower.
the average home?
Yeah.
But still the numbers jumped way up. Like way up.
See, my thing is
Comparative.
this, like, I mean,
It's like no wonder no one can afford a house no more. The income is roughly the same. The houses are like 3 or 4 times.
yeah, no, the home is definitely the housing market is definitely inflated, and honestly, in my opinion, it's artificially inflated. But
How
that's
so?
just people, coming up with these highest bids and stuff like that. Like, especially like after COVID was going on, like people were just
Yeah.
throwing just
Crazy
these
money.
astronomical numbers for a house that was like not even worth half of whatever they were offering. So when you do that, like, you're artificially, inflating that price. Now my thing is this, like I said earlier, like I got debt. It's not crazy in debt. Like, like I've heard of people having like $100,000 or like $50,000 in debt.
Mm.
That's not me. I mean, like I said, it's manageable. It's like it's less than 10 for sure. But like my thing is this, it's like it's manageable. And it took me a couple years to get to that. But there's people out there that's all they run on. They max out these credit cards, and it's like, dude, you racked yourself into, $60,000 in debt, and the interest rate, dude, your monthly payments, you're going to be looking at like $500, $600 on a credit card,
Mm.
bro. My thing is this, like I have a couple of jobs that I do now, and my median, my income is, I look at what I make now, right, and I go, well, if somebody's making twice what I make, and I'm thinking about my net that I make, I'm like, even if I make twice as much as I make now, it's still not a lot. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like,
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
like,
gonna put you in a crazy.
there's videos of people on YouTube. They're like, I'm struggling to make ends meet, and I make 130,000. I'm like, how do you do that? But then they'll go, my house is, my monthly mortgage is like 4,000. I'm like, well, there you go.
Yeah.
My truck is
You saying
2,700.
they're making how much?
I'm like 130,000. Like
Oh.
they'll be like, it's 130,000 annually. And then but then they'll go, but with net it's probably like 110, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, cool, you're still doing fine. But then when you look at, and then they go, well, my wife, she stays at home, so she's, but then they go into like whatever.
Their budget's way more than it should be.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And I forgot who it was that told me, it's like, look, there's people that make $20 an hour versus somebody that makes $1 million a year. And that person that's making $1 million a year, if they are living way beyond their means, they could be struggling just as much as a person that's making $20 an
Yeah,
hour.
Vlad's brought up that point a lot.
Yeah, and it's so
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
And it's kind of, to me, it's still like, I don't know if it's because, people are just financially illiterate, or if it's something that, we just do not really care for as a country. But it's like, man, I know for a fact, for me, if I made 100,000 a year, I would be actually doing really well.
yeah.
But I think it's people that,
You adjust to your income level and you become like if you here's the thing, you never like if you jumped up to that level now is what you're thinking.
right.
But if you were like that never happens.
Mhm.
If what happens is you have to grow to where you're making that level, and as you grow, your spending habits adjust to your level. Most times that's what happens with people.
Yeah.
So that's why by the time they get to where they're making 100,000, their lifestyle has changed and their
Mhm.
your spending habits stay the same, but you're in a nicer house, nicer car, eating healthier food. You're spending more on every single thing. So
Right.
even if your lifestyle doesn't change, the quality of all the stuff is better now.
Right.
And so you're
Yeah.
you're still only saving 10% of whatever or nothing none. But I looked it
Yeah.
up. So back in the day, your income was roughly 20% of what a house cost.
Right.
Now your income is wait. I thought I had it.
Well,
It's
what you're
it's like
saying,
double basically.
right?
It's like double.
Yeah.
Like the difference.
So the thing is like, as far as like the houses, and this is what I think some people run into the issue is, you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You know what I mean? Like these
Yeah.
new trucks. I mean, dude, honestly, like these new pickup trucks, they're starting out at like 70, 80, 90,000 for like a new pickup truck.
Mm.
Bro, like they used to be like 40 grand and less. And now, like, you know what I mean? It's getting more expensive. The houses are getting more expensive. I mean, it's just expensive to live. And I'm just thinking and I think that's what kind of goes into like the whole Christmas thing. It's like, golly, like, sometimes I think as humans, I always laugh at you when you make that point. Like, man, I can't wait till this world ends or this world hits a wall, and people have to really see what it's like, because I feel like it would take that big of an event for people to be like, man, maybe we were superficial.
Yeah.
Maybe we didn't need these Gucci belts to
Yeah.
match our shoes. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I got it now. So back then your yearly income was 22% of like what the house cost.
Right.
Which is, now it's 8%.
Yeah.
So it's like more than double of the value of like how much they cost versus what we're making.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like shit's so messed up. It's going to take like a huge thing to like knock society back to the beginning for us to really value shit again. And I don't know if like I don't know. It's weird that things have to work that way, but
Yeah, so to me, one question or one thought that always hangs in my mind is 100 years from now, right? 100 years from today, what is the future going to look like? Is it going to look like this utopian society where everybody's cryptocurrency? These houses are all like, you know what I mean? Are we going to be flying in cars by then? Hopefully, I mean, God, it would suck if we still didn't get to that. But 100 years from now, I'm like, man, I really hope that we as a society can really, get our act together, because if not, dude, it's gonna be a mess. And
yeah.
unfortunately, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren, they're gonna be the ones that are gonna have to suffer.
Yeah.
And
That's why the truth is so important, not sugarcoating shit. If you know better, do better. And like that really makes me think like I don't know what I could have done better during COVID, but like I knew that even though I knew better, I didn't know the way to express it to others in a way that would be beneficial.
Right.
I was like yelling at them and like doing all this stuff is like not gonna persuade them. So I was like, I just gotta kind of eat this one and kind of just observe and see and like not ruffle feathers. But like I knew like shit wasn't all good. So like I'm trying to figure out the best way I can like alert people. But like people don't want to even admit that like COVID was like kind of fucked and like. So like if there's something happened again, are you gonna be more skeptical of what the government says or no?
I don't know, because here's the thing. Here, let me explain. I know as much as it's easy to rebel against the government and say blah blah blah. I mean, they kind of already have us to a point where it's like, you have to kind of comply with some of the stuff.
No, you don't, man. Oh man.
You do.
You just have such a defeatist attitude.
It's not even that. It's just like,
Do you want these cocksuckers to fucking run your life?
they already do.
No, they don't, dude. You just think that.
Do you pay taxes?
Yes, Josh.
Okay, well,
but
you already
don't have to do every single thing they say.
You don't. And I mean, but when it comes to an apocalyptic event, if they're like, hey,
It starts by saying no to one thing, and then it adds up and snowballs.
So
if you just say everything's gonna happen, and I'm just gonna let it happen to me.
So if a zombie breaks out, like a zombie, let's just say a zombie outbreak happens, right? And the government says, hey, there's a place over here that's a safe haven. Come over here. You're not gonna go there.
I don't know. I'm gonna have mixed feelings about it.
Fuck that, dude. I'm out. I'm going right over there.
It depends on like how crazy the zombies are.
Dude, I don't know. Like, I don't care
if they're Walking Dead zombies, I'm risking it on my own.
You think you can escape the Walking Dead zombies?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Bro, you're tripping.
I'll get crazy.
Bro, you're tripping,
I'll
dude.
build a goddamn treehouse. They can't climb.
Hey, you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna be in there and they're gonna wait for you, dude. They're gonna wait for you like those kids outside of CC's, like,
well, I'm gonna have more than just
there's
me.
that stuffed crust Logan just waiting up there.
You're gonna have other people with you, dude. And you're gonna have a whole fortress and like weapons and shit.
Bro, I don't know what movie you've watched, but that ain't gonna happen in real life.
You're just not a fighter. You're a beta.
Dude, I will push whoever I have to make sure that I still live.
If they kill me, they kill me. I'm not like the only way I would go with the government is if like they were like I Am Legend zombies. I'm not dealing with that shit. You go to hell.
So wait.
But if they're like slow and shit, then
I could outrun those zombies.
No.
Yeah.
Bro.
Well, okay.
Jade. You're not gonna outrun those zombies. Bro, those zombies are fucking coke.
Hey, okay. What about in a car then?
But everything's broke down and there's no technology. Who's gonna service your car and shit?
I mean, hey, I just need it for a month or two. I just got to get around. Hey, once I get
a month or two, and then what?
Then it's when I get to that safe haven that the government will.
Okay, so you're going with the government.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
Hey, hell yeah, dude.
Hey, you got fruit roll-ups in there? I'm down. Let's go.
The Walking Dead would be exciting, bro.
No, dude.
Survival of the fittest. No one can pull a bunch of fucking bullshit and wool over your eyes.
Okay, let's just say apocalypse happens, right? Zombies break, like the outbreak thing. Where would you go?
I don't know.
You don't even have a plan. I already know where I'm going to Lowe's. Yeah, they got all kinds of. They got equipment. The garden center is closed off.
The first week is all about staying away from the city and just surviving the first week. Just that's what it's all. So I'm already good. I'm like kind of away from the city. If you're in the city, it's gonna be hard. The first week is just getting away from the city. Because, like, everyone there is just gonna... And that's the thing. I don't know how it would be in real life, but, like, in The Walking Dead, it's crazy. Because they ended up telling you... I don't remember how far in they told you, but, like, they tell you that when you... If you die naturally...
Right.
You wake... After, like... It's different for everybody. Like, how everybody's body... But, like, 6 to 8 hours, you wake up as a zombie. So, like, if I stab you and you bleed out, then, like, as soon as you actually fully die... 6 to 8 hours later, you'll wake up as a zombie. It doesn't matter if you got bit or not.
Yeah, but at that point, you don't care because you're...
But the way that affects people is they'll have communities of safe havens. Someone will... Like, there's been one time where this old guy died in his sleep, and he wakes up as a zombie, and they think it's all safe in the gates.
And then it
starts...
Yeah.
Dude, The Walking Dead, if you haven't seen it, a lot of people, like, hate on it. And like,
I watched the first couple seasons.
It's good because it has little shit like that where it's like... I mean, it's entertainment, but it's like, damn, like... There's always a little twist on it, you know.
But when you think about it, that's pretty much what COVID was.
Happened. Like,
that's what COVID was.
That was not what
not to the extreme, not to that, but you saw how easily contagious it was. I mean, it was people.
How easily contagious was it? We still don't even know the transmission rate.
But I mean, you know people that got it, right?
Yeah, a lot. Okay, most people got it.
Yeah, well there you go.
Over several years.
But my point is this: is like, if you don't have a plan, regardless if it's COVID or a zombie outbreak, you gotta have to have a plan.
I told you my plan.
You're going what?
To just like stay out of the city for like the first week or two.
What if everybody had the same thought as you?
Well, a lot of people do, but a lot of people are just in the city are gonna not get out.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
And then I still might die, but at least I increase my chances by not being in the city in the beginning.
But you're not going to the safe haven from the government.
No, sir.
Wait, so you're telling me you'd be willing to die before you go over there and it possibly be saved?
Yeah.
Why?
I would wait like several months and just see what happened. Bro, I don't want to go.
Hey, but when you're low on food,
because they might collapse too.
They could,
but
that could happen. But
I gotta take the chances.
I don't know, man. I would kind of, I don't know. To me, it's just kind of like, man, a zombie apocalypse. Okay, you got to think, you're not gonna have much food. You're not gonna have water, that's for sure. You're not gonna have like heat, so you're gonna have to, like you said, survive in the element.
Yeah.
So you got that. And then you got to figure out where you're gonna hide because you can't stay in your house.
Yeah, you'll make a fucking fortress.
Out of what? Where? How? When? With who? Like, there's so many. Like, you're gonna build a fort. Like, this isn't like Sims. You're gonna have to find a team.
I know.
You're gonna find a team, and are they gonna
Dude, I can
listen?
build shit.
Are they gonna listen to you?
Yes.
Why would they
Dude,
listen to you?
You don't think I can build shit?
No, I'm saying you
It
think.
doesn't have to be good.
But what if somebody's like, "Fuck you,
For a
dude"? Like,
zombie.
why? No, we're moving. We're not building anything. Then what? What are you gonna do?
I mean, there's a lot of anything can happen.
Yeah, but I'm asking you, what are you gonna do? You're gonna say, "All right, cool. Well, I'll
I
just
don't
go."
know. There's a lot of you're not giving me any
then
specific hypotheticals.
then you have to restart
what are you gonna do?
you have to restart the population.
Yeah.
Oh, and then what if it's with somebody that's against your?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
Like, bro, like I don't want this to happen, but if it's gonna happen,
Unreal,
then so
but-
be it. What? Okay. What if it was like you and like a hardcore liberal lady, and that has to start with like restarting population?
There's gonna be more people than just two people.
Hey, I've
Dude,
seen
hey.
in the shows sometimes it's just two people, and then
That's TV shit.
that's TV shit. But I mean, I'm just saying, like,
I mean,
and here's the thing: at that point, all your beliefs, your political beliefs, and all that shit, boom, it's gone because you don't
Yeah.
have a political system to rely
yeah,
on.
I
Nobody.
don't have political beliefs. Do you?
Yeah. I have some, yeah. I have some, yeah. I'm kind of, when I was younger, I was more like conservative, like super conservative. But as I got older, I've kind of laxed on that. I still have some conservative views on things, but it's not to that extreme anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when that apocalypse happens and all that stuff, dude, or 9/11 happens, or when something like that happens, dude, all that shit is forgotten about because at that point it's just like, dude, we got to survive. Like, we got to work together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, it's one of those things where it sucks, but it's like when those events happen, as much destruction and death as it causes, I mean, it creates it unifies a lot of people. I remember during 9/11, like we were talking about it a while back. Like, I remember when everybody flew an American flag. Like, it was just like you had to have one on your car.
Yeah.
Like, they were everywhere. And since then I haven't seen that. But that event, it helped the nation get together. I mean, it was pretty remarkable to see. And then all of a sudden it was gone. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. Like, zombies, COVID, all this stuff. Do I trust the government? No. But I feel like not everything that they do is like how do I put it? It's there for a reason. It creates
Not
these
everything,
boundaries.
bro.
Not everything, but most of everything. Like, you gotta have to have a seatbelt. I mean, you know what I mean? I know you don't like them.
But you just don't you think these people in government are just a bunch of like liars? Like,
But everybody lies, Logan. Everybody lies. People lie. But politicians,
but they don't lie more than they tell the truth. These politicians lie way more than they tell the truth.
it's a show. It's literally a
I'm
show.
done with the show, aren't you? Because like I said in that I think it was last episode, like
Mm-hmm.
you can only, they've done so much wrong that back in the day they did wrong and the return on it was down the road, but they've done it so long they've closed the gap on the return on the wrong.
Yeah.
So now when they do wrong, and it's like it almost sounds like make believe, but it's like you can't do wrong and do wrong and do wrong and think it's never gonna come back around. Eventually, they've lied so much and they've done so much stuff undercover that's impacted us.
Yeah.
And that they've not been truthful about. Now it's like I have to like fucking pull teeth to get people to like see when the government does wrong.
Right.
It's like because you've just accepted that they're like it's like you're in a relationship with a toxic bitch and they're like it's like she's cheating on you, she's doing you wrong, she's not giving y'all don't have a good exchange on like what y'all are getting out of each other. Like, oh no, man, like that's just us. Like,
Yeah.
she just beats me every now and then, or like I
Yeah.
can't hang out with y'all guys like I used to, but like I love her, and like it's almost like an abusive relationship we have with the government. Like, oh, they lie all the time, and like
Yeah.
They forced me to get the COVID shot, and like,
but is any
the economy
government
gets worse.
not
and,
every
like, all these
government is
things, but
perfect
I love
though.
them.
Not every government's perfect. Name me a perfect
But
like
there's some governments that are much better, and like our government's just getting to a point where we don't even try anymore. Like the fact that Biden is in office is like, it's a disgrace to everyone that's in office around him.
Yeah.
You're a piece of shit for propping him up. It's a shame that I even have to fucking say that. The fact that I have to say you're a piece of shit for propping him up. The people that defend people that prop him up are pieces of shit. Like it's a fucking joke. He's a skin puppet rag.
a skin puppet. Have you looked at his eyes when he talks,
terrible,
bro? Hey, when
he does that little trot to seem like he's running. It's like,
dude, I've seen interviews of him, and I like when he talks, dude. It's like he's like staring off into something and like really trying hard to put those words together. You know what I mean?
People that have memory loss, like, yeah, he's crazy. What did I mean, he's crazy.
Man, I don't know.
Bro. And so it's like it's a joke on a joke on a joke on a joke.
Yeah.
The other day I saw a debate between Ron DeSantis and Gavin Newsom, and I was like, why are these two guys debating when neither one of them have officially declared to run for president? But the reason is they're like, in normal U.S. bullshit politics, those are the two people that you would think would be running right now.
Right.
But it's like for some reason they're not. And like the two top guys, Biden and Trump, are not even going to debate each other because Biden cannot debate. And it's just like this weird thing where everyone knows he's not capable, but everyone's just like somewhat okay. They make some lame
They're turning a blind eye.
Everyone has some lame excuse in their mind of why it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's like, dude, it's not okay. It's just not. Like it's a shame I have to even say that.
Well, I
So
think
that's how bad it is. So
I think
like,
they've like
the
I think there was a poll not too long ago that even the Democrats are starting to realize like, oh, that Joe's not really he's not holding up his end of the like he's not doing good. So they're like, we got to do something. But you know, like
these are like people that have like delayed reaction, like getting hit or something. Like boom, ow! It's like, yeah, we all knew he's a fucking retard. Like after Obama got out of office, we were done with him then. Like it's just ridiculous.
Man, I you know, and honestly, dude, I can't think of a presidency that was like, man, this was on point. And to be honest, even with you and I mean, we're about the same age. There's only been like 4 or 5 presidents. If that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like we really haven't had a chance to really experience like a real president with genuine. And I couldn't think of me personally, I can't think of an individual that I would put my trust into putting a vote. I really don't. And at this point, it's just kind of like, man, what is the point? Because it doesn't matter.
Because you can admit, like, and back in the day, I remember like the 2000s, you could talk about who you voted with other people, and like y'all would both criticize each other's choice and kind of like laugh it off. But you would find stuff you didn't like about the other guy's person, but you find like you did like about him, and you both just kind of. But like now, they can't enjoy the other side, and it's like you're saying, it's so bad. It's like because there's no truth in it. There used to be a little bit of truth in it. Now there's zero truth.
Yeah.
Like I said. They're so bad and they do bad so much and they've done bad for so long. The return on that bad is now.
Yeah.
You can't push it back any further.
But do you think the people...
No more bullshit can go in the tank.
Do you think the people that are still in support of like President Biden, like do you think they're still supportive because they don't...
If
hold
you
on.
vote,
Hold
get
on.
off the boo-boo.
Do you think that they do that though? Because if they go back on it and be like, man, maybe it was a bad idea.
It's all pride at this point.
Do you think that's what it is?
It's all pride. It's all pride.
Yeah.
If you vote, you're a piece of shit. If you believe in Biden or Trump...
Wait, if you vote in general?
If you vote.
Oh, I still think you got to vote.
Why?
Because
they're all liars.
Well, here's the thing. At least locally. Local stuff, you have to vote
Vote
for.
local.
Vote local, for sure. Because if you want your roads fixed,
Bro.
that's done through voting, unfortunately. Like, it's like, man, if I want this pothole fixed or this structure of road... I need to vote for this. You know what I mean?
People just need to open their mind. We're thinking the same old way, and it's gotten us like we're going down a road that's taking us to the spooky haunted forest, and we're like, maybe if we just go down this road faster or harder, or like change the rules of this road. It's like, no, dumbass, we got to take a different path. We're not gonna get anywhere going down the same road. So do we have to have a government that like. That provides like a skeletal structure for our society? Yes. Do we have to vote on things in that government? Yes. But the way we vote and the fact that we vote on representatives, maybe we should just vote on policies ourselves. or give less to our representatives. But the way we're doing it now is terrible, and like the people that we have in politics now are terrible.
Yeah.
And like there's no truth in it. There's no truth in it. They're all scumbags. Why do you have to wear a suit to run for office?
What would you wear?
Wear what you wear day to day, god damn it. What the fuck? It's a show. They comb their hair. Have you seen Yellowstone?
No.
Okay, who cares? But it's like I was gonna like draw a parallel like Jamie on there, how it's totally phony and he like dresses all, but like it's like, bro, you're wearing this costume. You don't wear that day.
Hold on, I still think you gotta dress. Like you gotta dress. You gotta have. You don't want some dude like in some Crocs and
But
like.
wear what you wear every day.
What if some people wear?
They don't wear that.
There's that one. Oh God, I think he's the governor or like the mayor in Florida. This dude, hey, he shows up to press conferences in a sweater. Like I'm just like he just looks like he walked off the street and got onto the podium. I don't know if I like that, dude. Especially if it's like got pizza grease. If it's got pizza grease and nah, dude. Hey, no, you got to have some kind of pride in what you look like. You can't just go around looking with pizza stains all over your sweater.
Look like, then they'll get you up out of there. Then.
But you just said dress the way you want.
You need to be how you are every day, and if you're a greasy slob, they'll get you out of there. Who gives a fuck, bro?
I do. I don't want the pizza grease.
You care about how it looks or how it gets done?
Both. You can't. Hey, if you go to another country with, I'll put it to you this way. When you go to another country, right? Like if our president goes to another country and they see this frail old man, do you think they go, "Oh man, like he's pretty"? You can tell he's very like. Or do you want somebody to go?
That's the packaging. But what if he surprised them with his mental wit? It's all like you compare. You've never had thing in a rough packaging that was like good.
I think most people. The first impressions, first impressions is not even about the wittiness or anything like that. You just look at somebody.
I know what
you
saying.
Size up
What's
somebody.
Your overall point?
It's like, am I gonna take this guy seriously?
Who?
The old frail guy that trips down the stairs and stuff like that. Like, are you gonna?
But it's the whole package.
I get that. No, I know what you're saying. But what I'm saying though is like, when I want somebody to represent me on my behalf or whatever. Like if I have a lawyer or an attorney that's gonna represent me. Do I want the guy that looks like he just got off of Burlington Coat Factory clearance aisle, or do I want the guy that looked like he, you know what I mean? It plays a role into it. I get that part, but my thing is this: it's like politics. Are they there for a reason? Yes. Are they avoidable? No. I remember this one video.
Can you avoid people lying though, bro? It's like,
dude,
everyone's like, bro. It's like people are just fine with politics the way they are now. If you're a fucking liar, if you lie, you're like, everyone lies. Everyone.
Am I lying?
But does everyone lie more than they tell the truth?
Probably.
No.
Probably.
I don't lie more than I tell the truth.
You don't think the media lies to you?
I said, the question was, does everyone lie more than they tell the truth? Because that's what you're acting like. You're like, everyone lies.
They do.
Okay, everyone's told a fucking lie, but not everyone lies more than they tell the truth. Come on, bro.
You just told me that
if we did that, we wouldn't have any friends.
But you just told me that this COVID thing that we've been lied to this whole time. Are you talking individual or are you talking generic?
Individually.
Let's put it.
We have all these politicians that are faggot pieces of shit because we don't hold them accountable.
Okay.
We need to get people in there that tell the truth.
That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen because
lame,
it's lame, but that's the truth. Because I'll tell you why. Because to be honest with you, I feel like if we were
no one cares enough.
No. I feel like if we were to go to the country, the United States of America, and pulled its pants down and saw what was going on, we'd be like, oh
yeah, I try to tell y'all faggots all the time, and y'all don't want to hear it.
Oh my God. Hold on, UFOs are real. Okay. Hey, UFOs are real. Oh, if we were to find out the absolute truth, Logan, I feel like this whole society would crumble because, like you said,
people are weak.
No,
so weak. It's
maybe,
so lame.
But you even said so. If we were to find out that the government was to tell us that the Earth was flat, what would happen? This place would turn into a shit show. We cannot handle the truth. Nicholas. What is it, Nicholas? Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth. That's not a line in a movie. That's actually real life.
Then what do you think's going on here?
This is a show. We live in a show, dude.
Then what's the point of us being here for the individual?
I think
the show. Then what's the point of the individual being here?
It's just being part of the show, bro.
That's it.
That's it, man.
That's not it. Bro.
Hey,
that's not all it is.
That's the show, dude. We are part of a show that is.
Then
we
how
have our
come
roles.
Some people are so much smarter than others.
Because this,
they can potentially ruin the whole show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's the point of that?
Well, it's kind of like you said. Not everybody tells everybody that.
If we're just here to be part of the show and that's it,
Mm-hmm.
what's the point of some people being so smart that they can ruin the show or break the whole show?
Mm-hmm.
Why would the showrunner do that?
Why do you think they do that?
I'm asking you.
So that way they can run the show.
No. So if you have something that's all it's there is for just to be a show,
Mm-hmm.
why put someone in the show that's smart enough to break it?
I don't think it's smart enough to break it. I don't even think they're part of the show. You know what? I think what it is they're the directors. We have Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, and who passed away, Bill Gates. These people are directors in the film, and
Those
we
are puppets that are part of the problem. I'm talking
puppets.
about people that question things and that have different ideas and that get people to follow them.
Yeah,
Those kind of people. Why would those people even be around? What's the point of those people?
I,
People that don't follow the path, don't want to be part of the show,
Yeah.
try to get other people out of the show.
yeah. I think
What's the point of those people even being around? Like,
I think that they're there to expose it and to expose the show. You know what I
Why?
mean? Well, because it's a show. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're like I see what you're saying. Like why isn't there more people like you where it's like let's
No,
talk?
why are there people like me at all if it's just meant to be a show?
Because it's like it would be boring. It would be boring if we didn't have people that were really like really talking and discussing having
No,
these
it wouldn't be boring.
conversations.
There's plenty of like shit that goes on to keep y'all entertained.
It kind of goes back to what I was saying about me at my job. Like at any of my jobs, like I keep it fun because, dude, let's be honest. Sometimes these jobs are not fun.
I know, so there's fun without like, and there's plenty of disaster and like chaos and fun and goofy shit that goes on without people like me questioning it all. Why does there need to be people like me questioning it all?
Yeah. Why is there why are there firefighters? Why are there police? Why are there people that that do what they do? Why do
Those are the fixed problems that come up, but there would be no problems in the show. It's like someone like me's pointing out problems and poking holes in it. Why would they need someone like that?
there's always a protagonist. There's always people that you know what I mean. You got to think, man. Like I said,
It
unfortunately,
doesn't have to be though. If it's a show, and a show, things a lot of times can go perfect or right when there's no.
maybe, but then it'd be a boring show.
Well,
Like
I mean,
shows
you could still make a.
shows always have a problem. That's what it.
No, not really. There can
no.
be comedies without a problem.
You were talking about Seinfeld, but even Seinfeld, for example.
I mean, there's little stuff that comes
Yeah.
out, but there can be comedies without a problem. There can be like adventure stories without a problem.
Yeah.
There can be like we could have like the United States is an industrial war complex. We could just be here having war against other countries and like
Yeah.
everyone just watching movies and eating popcorn and watching porn and loving each other, and there's no one pointing out any of the problems, even though there are problems. But to everyone, it seems good and good. And doesn't have to be people pointing out any of the errors in our ways, but yet there are. Y'all don't want to listen to us, but why are we even here?
You know the fact that you're even here is a miracle in itself. Do you know that, right?
I mean,
You got to think. Think about this. The probability of you even being alive statistically is not even it's not fathomable. So you got to think, okay, I beat the odds cuz out of all the sperm that, that was here, I was the one that made that beat the race. So I won the race. I won the game of life on that. Okay, cool. Then you're born. Then and I think about this even more so with people that commit crimes and like commit murders and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, do you not realize like you statistically should not even be here? But okay, we'll get past that. So then you make it. Then you're born. Then you're like, okay, I went through my trauma. I become a child. I became an adult. This and that. You go through this whole journey, and then you go to this point where you go to this crossroad. You go to this crossroad, and I think you and I have taken different paths on this. One, I'm just gonna take stuff at surface level and just happy go lucky and hope for the best. You on the other hand, you're like, dude, something's up. I don't like the way that it is. I know I'm not the only one. I want to figure it out. And so you go into those two paths. And for me, I like where I'm at. Like I'm not perfect. Like I'm not I'm not where I want to be, even career-wise. I feel like, but I'm just starting out. But because I know I was going to get better. But my thing is this: is like I like where I'm at. I sleep peaceful at night, and I really, honestly, like I like to try to keep that peace of mind. And for you, I can't speak on your behalf, but I mean, are you happy?
You don't have to get ready if you stay ready.
Answer the question. Are you happy, Logan?
No.
Why?
Do you see the world we live in?
I see it,
No,
but
I don't think you do.
no, I see it. I'm in it 24/7. But But why? What keeps you? Let me ask you this: what keeps you from
Because
obtaining?
when the next disaster hits, you're just gonna wonder like
But you
how
can't
this
be
happened.
thinking
And,
like that though.
when the next disaster hits, you're gonna be like, how did this happen? Oh my god, it's a fucking panic.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be thinking like, all right, it's time to like, go. Like,
You're like, this is what I was waiting for. But like, you
it's
can't.
just having a healthy mind state. Like you think that the disaster is so far away and that it's so far fetched, but it's not. Like,
No, shit can happen at any
but
point.
it's primed to happen. Like,
But that's life, Logan.
no, it's
Shit can
not.
just hit the fan at any point in time.
Yes, but dude, they have it to where it's going like it's like, bro.
No, hey, Logan.
You don't think things are getting worse in this country?
Fuck yes, dude. I just told you the economy sucks.
Okay, so it's not natural. It's not like
No,
natural things.
it's
Naturally,
not.
they're just gonna
But
get worse.
my thing is
sometimes, and
this.
it's just like an ebb and flow. Sometimes things get better and worse. It's like no, things are getting constantly fucking worse. They're lying to us more and more and more.
But Logan, here's the thing. Yes, the world sucks, but it doesn't always
But
suck.
it's a concerted effort for it to get worse. It's not like it's just happening to get worse right now, and it might start to get better soon.
Yeah.
They have a concerted effort to make it worse. So if we want it to change, we have to make a concerted effort for it to get better, or it's just gonna keep getting worse. What do you think's coming next after transgenders? They went gays, then they went transgenders. They're not just gonna stop there.
Okay.
There's something next.
What do you think?
What do you think?
I don't know. That's what I'm
Either
asking you.
children or animals.
Oh,
Get ready.
yeah. Logan.
You think it's funny? Wait till they're.
No, I don't think it's funny, but I'm just like honestly, like here's the thing.
It's fucking sick. Shit.
Oh no, for sure. That's some.
There's
that's
an
some,
agenda with this shit. It's
But
not
hold
just
on.
haphazard with this.
But let me ask you this, okay? As much as as much as you go, I'm not happy, right? Things are not going well as far as like the economy and society.
It's more than that.
Society. Okay, we'll go
They're
society.
convincing women that you want to be a strong, independent woman. It doesn't matter if you have sex with all these guys. It's okay to be fat, just in general. If you're
Right.
intersex, Lizzo's beautiful. Any body shape is beautiful.
But why? But why?
Fucking lies.
Hold on. But
Enough
why
lies. That's not
lose?
healthy for
But
us,
why?
bro.
Oh, no, it's not. But why is it like that much of a weight on you? Like it to where it affects you.
What else matters, bro?
I mean, there's other
the
shit.
thing.
I'll put
People
it.
don't get how important this shit all
I
is.
cannot. If I was to honestly, if I was to think about shit like that 24/7, I would lose my mind. I cannot do that. Like it's just, and I think what it is this.
People just don't give a fuck.
No, it's not that we don't give a fuck.
they
It's just
don't.
I got a lot of shit going on. I got a lot of shit going on. But my thing is this: is like, if I was to dwell on that shit for
It's just being real with yourself. It's not. I got a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, I do.
Next hot dog.
Yeah.
It's like get the fuck out of here.
hot
bro.
dogs are delicious. I fucking love hot dogs, especially with like
I can't wait for everyone.
Wolf brand chili.
ripped out of their fucking cold
Wolf
dead
brand
hands.
chili. But here, let me ask you this,
bro,
Logan.
People are just lame.
If-
They don't want to
if-
fight for. People don't want to do anything that's hard or fight for anything.
Well, hold on. Okay, so then let me
next
ask you.
lie. Next lie. Next lie.
Let me ask you this. What makes you happy? It ain't hot dogs. You just said you don't like hot dogs.
I don't even know anymore.
You don't know what makes you happy.
No,
Really?
there's nothing that excites me anymore.
Not even this podcast? Fool, I drove here an hour and a half. I don't want to hear that shit. But my thing is this, like for me, I cannot live like that because I would be very unhappy. I think for me, like I said, the stuff that makes me happy is not even like the tangible stuff. It's those memories that you create. It's the little elf on the shelf that I know you fucking hate. But for me, seeing my daughter wake up and then trying to figure out what's going on, stuff like that, when you're creating memories, dude, honestly, man,
I hate to say it, but I love the truth, and I love the truth so much that, I want to see the people acknowledge the truth so much that, like, yeah, but
you do realize like you're fighting a very uphill battle.
yeah.
And that's the thing. I'm not trying to tell you.
Shouldn't most people like be in line with the truth though? What do we? It's like you want most people to be in line with the truth. You're crazy. You're fighting an uphill battle. It's like
Yeah.
that shouldn't be. Most people should be in line with the
It
truth.
shouldn't be. But what about what's always said about the truth that eventually comes out? It eventually comes out. So if
And when that happens, I was just about to say that, but like no matter the cost,
yeah,
that's what will make me happy. Even if I see it in people's eyes as they're dying, like I didn't know, now I know that. It's like, or even if it's me having to die, like what? I don't give a fuck. But like, the truth is what makes me happy, and like if the truth is suppressed, like to millions right now, and
Yeah.
it's like depressing as fuck. Like nothing real and strong and good is championed anymore. Everything that's fake and like it's obvious the devil is what's champion. Everything that's if you just think of what's natural and good in nature, and I don't know how to describe it more basic than that, but like just what's good and natural.
Yeah.
Whatever the opposite of that is like mostly what's winning now, and it's fucking. That's not where it's at. That shit is like, just like, bro. I'm the only one of the only people that feels like this. It's
Wait,
like, bro.
so
this is
hold on?
insane.
Do you feel like that people should be allowed to do what they want?
Uh, I yeah, as long as you're not imposing on others.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So and I'm here's the advocate part, the devil's advocate part. So like for instance, like a gay person or a trans, right? If they're out in public, like you're cool with that.
I'm cool with that. Here's my issue.
Okay.
Just because I don't like that about you doesn't mean I think you're a shit person.
Right. I just want to. That's the point I wanted to get out.
Because it's like the fat thing. You can still. I don't like that you're fat, but you can still be a good person.
Right.
I'm sure people might not like that. I can still be a good person, even though that's a bad thing about me.
Yeah.
So
that's not who said that's a bad thing about you?
Okay, let's just get the conversation like. Anyway, like you can have bad things about you.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you're a whole bad person.
Right.
Right. So and anyway, there's levels to that, but like, just because you're gay or transgender doesn't mean you're a bad person. But I don't agree with that about you, and think that's not right about you.
Right.
And like you could be in society and like, that's fine. Here's the real actual issue, because that's not even really an issue. It's just how I view it. But like, here's the real actual issue.
Right.
When these minority of people, because being gay and transgender is a minority. It might even be an increasing minority, but it is still a minority.
Okay.
When that minority wants to go ahead and say, and it's not like a racial minority thing where like all the races are natural, but there's just different proportions.
Right.
This is an unnatural minority because you cannot propagate. Two black people, even if they're a minority, can have a kid. Two Mexican people, if they're a minority, can have a kid. Two gay or lesbian or trans people, minority, they cannot have a kid. It's not natural.
Right.
So it's a, it's a super, super low minority naturally, and it's an inflated because they've advertised, and that's what I'm getting around to. So like these other minorities are more substantial. This is a super low minority that's been artificially inflated because they are championing gay and lesbian and transgender and LGBTQ as you're just a little bit better than normal people, which is absolute bullshit.
Okay. That's
bullshit. You're not better than anyone. And they want to play up this victim mentality, like I've been victimized my whole life, so now everyone owes me anything. Bullshit. If you're better than everyone, how are you owed something?
Yeah,
it's all bullshit.
Well,
go
ahead.
It's just like, bro, this shit is unnatural, and they're trying to vocalize for the minority, a very slim minority, and put what they need, their wants and needs and views over the majority, and they're trying to make it seem like it's the thing to be, so that they're like, let's just say, naturally it's in nature that gays and lesbians are like 1%. They're trying to make it seem like it's a 10% thing.
Right.
Like, it's not. It's like a super low thing, but they're pushing like it's okay, and they're persuading people that are like on the line that like, that's a whole other thing, but they're pushing people that are like more susceptible into it, that would not naturally be like that. That's not good and okay, and that shit's like,
so like for instance, I've like growing up, like, we didn't have like, I didn't know many gay people, right, in the town that I grew up in. And as I got older, then I started to like take notice, and then, as you're an adult, you find out, okay, cool. And this is me personally speaking, out of the gay people that I know and whatever, like I've never met one person that was like a gay person and they thought they were better than me. Like that's from my personal experience. Maybe it was different for you, but for me, I've never met like a gay person that was like.
How many gay people have you known?
Oh, quite a bit.
And when do you still interact with them like currently?
Not like on a daily basis, but yeah, like.
When's the last time you like interacted with them?
I mean, I do at work. I mean, not at my other job.
yeah.
But yeah, like,
because I guess my point, what I'm getting at is like, I feel like back in the day, if you were gay, it was because it wasn't socially popular. If you were gay, it was true. Like you were like if you were gay and
Oh, so you're thinking like the
now it's like where was I going with that?
well, the people that I know, like
Okay,
they're married, like they have like
they were it was true. So
right.
like fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say again. God damn
Yeah.
it.
Here's what I'll say. This is what I'm gonna say, and I'll end it with this. Like for me, like I don't have problem. Like I personally don't have any problem, and I'll put it to you this way. And I think I think we talked about this a while back. But when you're in a life and death situation and you're about to die, right, and you're gonna get administered aid,
Yeah.
you don't care who that person is. You don't
Yeah.
care if they're gay, trans,
Yeah.
or black, white. You don't care.
Yeah.
Please just do whatever you can.
Yeah.
And my thing is this, like for me, like I have my values and what I understand to be, to be my truth.
Yeah.
But I have to understand at the same time that's different from what
We have
everybody
to
else is
fight for
doing.
what's true and real in society. And here's what I was gonna say: like back in the day, it wasn't accepted and socially championed. So like if you were cool with gay people, they loved that you were cool with them and accepted them for who they were, and
Right.
they saw you as like an equal and like blah blah blah. But now, in the current time, they tell gay people there's all this messaging that like to help to like prop gay people up and tell them they're better and all this stuff. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's a definite like entitlement now.
Mm.
Like you can barely. There was like it's not as bad now, but there was a time from like 2010 to 15 where like you couldn't really talk shit about gay people, or you'd be like borderline canceled.
Yeah.
You remember that?
I honestly
Now
don't.
comedians like make fun of them, and it's like it's almost like gay people are equal. It's like they're like one of the everyone
Yeah.
can rip on everybody. But there was a time period where like you really didn't want to make a joke because it was like you might get canceled.
Right.
But now that it's like super socially acceptable, now we can joke about them again. But it's like why was that a thing? Like it's because it's like for a time they had this victim thing where like we're better than you and you better not like.
Yeah.
But it's like I feel like it's better now and it was better before that. But like there's something weird with it. Like they for a while they had the victim mentality and like you definitely there's still like an air of like don't really talk shit about gay people too much.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you
No.
can do it, but like don't do it too much.
Yeah. No.
You're almost like a protected class. Like we don't have a category for us. They have this LBGT thing. Like
Dude, I'll tell you right now, dude.
that's
Like
weird.
the one thing you don't want to do is try to get into it with like a gay, dude, like trying to go back and forth. Because I promise you, they're wittier. They are. I know you said they think they're better than you, but dude, I don't know if you ever seen those comebacks from like they're on point with it, and it's funny. My thing is this, like I said,
these people cannot reproduce.
what do you mean?
They
Like,
can't have kids.
Right?
So it's like it's not natural, and only like a very small percentage of people are like born gay.
Yeah.
So it's like it's
But so then it'll never go away.
it'll never go away, but it'll never take over and be the main thing unless it's absolutely just
But I don't-
artificially forced.
But I don't think it's
You feel me?
I get it, but I don't
Right?
think that's the plan. I don't think the plan is
But
to.
it is the plan. It's like first we're gonna push gay, then we're gonna push trans, then we're gonna push something else. It's like a progression. It's like all this stuff is getting more and more unnatural, more and more against God. I'm not with it.
Yeah. So you like Chick.fil.A. then? You remember that was a big thing?
Was it,
I had there's like I think it was like 2012 or 2011. Chick.fil.A. Somebody found out that Chick.fil.A. was like in favor of like they were doing like anti homophobic kind of stuff. And excuse me, ooh, that was bad. You don't remember that? It was like early 2010s, and I had some really good friends that I was cool with. And I jokingly posted like a Chick-fil-A sandwich, like, you know what I mean? And it wasn't even like kind of like, but it was, I did it, and I lost quite a few friends on that. And I was like, whoa, like,
yeah.
And to me, I was like, well, I mean, I get it. I understood where they were coming from because they were strong in their belief. And I was like, man, but like, I don't know. Like, to me, they didn't know me well enough to know like it was a joke or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, I get it. My thing is this: people are entitled to their opinions.
See, because gay became their identity.
It wasn't even gay though. That was the thing.
They weren't.
No, they were.
See, and that's the thing. That's how you know it was strong messaging. And
Yeah.
it wasn't totally organic. And I said this too back in the day. I almost had more of a problem with these pro-gay people that weren't gay, that were like in your face, than the actual gay people that just wanted to live and be treated like a normal person, which I have no problem with. So like, yeah, I don't know. Like, if gay is your identity, or you're using the pro-gay message to be your identity, even if you're not gay, that's lame as hell. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I'm short. I don't make short my whole identity. If someone makes a short joke, I'm not gonna be like, fuck you forever. Like, goddamn, everyone. like oh, he made fun of like my disadvantage, everyone hate him.
Yeah.
Like no, just roll with it. Like if we make a fat joke about like Donnie, he's not gonna like hate someone forever.
Yeah.
Like bro, just roll. Like everyone has little things. If we
Yeah.
make a bald joke on our Austin, he's not gonna like hate us forever. Like everyone has little things.
Right.
If they joke about that all the time, then it's like, all right, bro, chill. Like,
Yeah.
you're being a hater. But like, if everyone picks at your little things every now and then, it's like, just kind of roll with it. But
Yeah.
gay people, you pick at their little thing, and they get all super defensive and make it like their identity. It's like, bro, if you were like a super cool person and like you were well rounded and like all these other things,
Yeah.
you would just like let that roll right off. Unless someone like picked at that one thing over and over like a fucking whore.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay.
Well, but that's the thing. That's probably what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but I've never done that, and I've never had, to my knowledge, problems with anyone gay. So like,
yeah.
but I'm like, I don't.
But you got it.
Like,
But you hit the
who
nail on the
cares?
head.
Yeah.
If their whole life it was like that, then
Yeah.
you could understand. Like if they're
I
like,
can see that. Yeah.
yeah, that you. And again, my thing is this: like, if you're gay or trans or whatever, like, do you?
I just don't want commercials for this shit. You feel me?
You don't want to do what?
I don't want just like being fat is unhealthy, and
Yeah.
overall, I don't want to see it propagated.
Yeah.
Gay is not healthy. I don't want to see it propagated. I don't want pro-gay ads.
Yeah.
I love y'all, but I don't like y'all's way is not the way.
Really?
Sorry, it's not. We don't need pro-gay ads. We
Yeah.
don't need pro-fat ads. You know, we got to be real with what's real. We don't have pro-smoking ads.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could do away with the soda and beer ads too.
Yeah.
Want to keep it 100? Like, there's a lot of shit, but like, let's not propagate all this shit that's unhealthy. You know? So
I don't know. The ads don't bother me. They don't. Me personally, and this is where you and I are always different.
Or like shows where they push, because I'm not saying like seeing a lot of gay ads or whatever. That doesn't even make sense. But like where they make, if there's an actual gay character in the show, fine. But let's not throw super like more than proportionate gay. Like,
yeah.
You know.
I think in my opinion, and this is very unpopular opinion, like I think there should be allowed to have some representation on something on some stuff.
We don't need to push it over the top.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's
is it okay to
the
be?
top.
Yeah. Is it the way to be? No.
Well, I don't think they want it to be the way.
They do though, bro. And maybe
know.
not. I'm not saying every gay person, but I'm saying the people behind the scenes pushing it. They want to make it seem like it's okay to. It's like the way to. It's like they made Caitlyn Jenner seem like a hero for what she did or whatever you want to say. Like, yeah, they're just. You know, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, to me, I don't know. I mean,
if here's the thing: if you choose to transition,
yeah.
Like, especially these kids that are transitioning in high school, it should be about like your bigger journey. You should just see that, like, okay, I'm choosing to transition. I'm just gonna take the hit and not be able to compete in like athletics.
Yeah.
But like they don't. They're. It's almost like they're not really doing it for the right reasons. They're like, I still want to compete. It's like, I don't know. It's just this whole
I don't. That's a whole nother topic for another.
But that's like they're gonna if you really are doing it because you truly would just want to be the opposite sex and you're like doing it to be true to you, you're gonna have to understand that might be a sacrifice. You might have to forfeit.
Oh, I'm sure they take that into account. I mean, when you're making and again, this is something that we probably would need to have like a trans person or a gay person to really discuss. Like that would be kind of cool to have on as a guest. But like, hey, you know, like what my thing is this. I feel like at some point, you know, like even like me as a Hispanic dude, you know what I mean? There's not a lot of representation on Hispanics, like, you know, in a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? But, and it kind of grows, it's here and there. But my thing is this is like, because of that, I can see why there would be needing to be some kind of representation. It doesn't have to be like, you know, like you said, 24/7.
With the worldly bits around them though, and like most people like, we don't have Braille everywhere for blind people because
we
people
do.
are blind. We have it, but not everywhere.
Oh yeah.
We don't have those handicap ramps.
Yeah.
We have some places, but some places don't have them.
Right.
So it's like that. It's like y'all are gonna have some stuff, but
like,
shouldn't
we accommodate for that though?
If we can, but not everywhere is going to because most guns are made for right-handed shooting people.
Wait, guns?
Yeah.
Oh, like the
guns. So
gotcha.
it's like Myron pointed that out the other day. So it's like. These things go off of generalities, and that's how the world works. Are there exceptions, and is it nice to accommodate? Yes, but like by and large, and like this is something that's like I said, it's not like blind people or handicapped people where they're just forced to it, or even people that are naturally born gay. It's like they're inflating the natural number and they're doing things to make it seem like it's cool, and like
I don't know. Like I said, I think for it, and I can see where you're coming from on it, and then for me, like I said, I can see where they're coming at. What they're what they're wanting, and then I think at the end of the day, they want to just be respected. That's what it comes down to. And I know you're saying we can respect them in this and that. You just don't want it to be pushed on you.
yeah,
Is that right? Yeah, I mean I get it, and they probably don't want certain stuff pushed on them either. So it kind of goes it kind of goes back back and forth. But to me, like I said, it's kind of one of those things where you just really have to kind of be like, okay, this is the world that we live in, and I know for you, Logan, you're just not. This is not Six Flags for you. This is not Disney World.
yeah.
But for me, I see things differently. I try to be as much optimistic as I can. But you ask anybody
That's not realistic though.
what?
Being as optimistic as you can is not realistic.
Why is that?
It's just not. It just, the two definitions don't go together.
Why is that?
Just, just the nature of the two words and like
I
the nature
can't
of
be
reality.
optimistic as
No, you can, but it's that if you're saying I'm the most optimistic I can be, that's not
yeah.
in line with like the most realistic.
Right, but
That's what I go for.
here's the thing. I look
But
at
like,
I'm a realist. I'm a realist at the same time, but I really hope for the best. You know what I mean? Like I'll put it to you this way. With Austin, our coworker, we were talking, and he pointed out the fact that you always see the negative in people and stuff like that, and he tries to see the best in people. Like you're kind of look at people in different types of like perspectives. I see it from your point of view because in today's society, a lot of people are full of shit. But I also see where he's coming from with it because there's still good in people. Now, what's the ratio on that? I couldn't tell you. But I just know for me personally, like the difference, and we said it last time, the difference starts with you. So that's why when I go to a job, or if I'm meeting somebody, like if I'm at Lowe's, I talk to people. Like I love to talk to people because everybody has a story to tell, whether it's a tragic one or a sad, or a happy one. Like everyone has a story. That's what I love about life. Everyone's path is different from another, but we're still on the same spot, if that makes sense. Like we're still in the same space, but like everyone has a different path. You know what I mean? You got to think, like you and I. There's billions of others like us. Some are making millions of dollars annually. Some are making 30,000 annually. Some are making $1 a day. You know what I mean? And so for me, I try to make life as enjoyable as possible because you don't know when this ride is going to end. I could have died during COVID. I had COVID. I caught COVID 3 times, and each one of those times, I was like, "Yep, this is it. This is it." But you know what I mean? Like for me, I try to make it as enjoyable as possible because, man, dude, you're right. There is a lot of shit that goes on out here that sucks, and so for me, I'd rather try to make things as fun as possible. Some people don't. In fact, some people hate that about me. They hate that, when like they're like, here's Josh with over here, Mr. Jolly Good. He just skips through. I know what they mean. I know what they mean, but for me, it's like, dude, like I can't. This world is miserable enough. I'm not gonna let it get down on me like that. You know what I mean? I'm healthy for the most part. I have a beautiful family. We got Christmas shit all over the place. My kids are happy. We're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I feel blessed, man. I go home and I'm happy after a long day of work, dude. There's nothing better than to lay down next to somebody and you're like, man, this is dope. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I like life. Life is awesome, dude.
Hmm. You guys gonna be saying that much longer, I bet.
Logan's like, that sounded like a big bowl of shit to me.
Enjoy it while it lasts, bro. I hope it lasts for a long time, but I just don't think it will be. I hope I'm dead wrong, but
hey, shit happens. Divorces happen. Death
I'm
happens.
not talking about like you personally. I just think like shit's going down in this country, and everyone has like their head in the clouds.
Yeah, but why
like,
fuck it up for them? Why fuck it up for them?
Because dude, that's what. Bro, if your head's in the clouds, when shit falls, you're gonna fall much farther. Versus base level, I'm expecting it.
But if it does, then what? What do you care?
I'm gonna be able to react to it and be better off position versus they're gonna die.
And if they die, then what's it to you?
Bye bye.
Yeah, it's better for you.
That's the thing too. Like I don't think you just come. Do you think you just come here to live and die?
I mean,
that's the thing. Everyone is such a dumbass. They think, oh, so what if I die? Then why do you care about anything? Just die now.
Does anybody live forever?
No, but a lot of people want to live forever. And
well,
that's the thing.
But we all know that's not true.
The thing. I think you come here and you have to keep coming back until you get it right. So people just put their head in their ass and head in their sand, and they don't get any better, and this world gets worse to keep you worse.
Oh, like reincarnating?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
You think you just come here and be a dumbass and be a dumb fuck and then just go to heaven or something? It's like, psh, if I was in charge of anything, there's no chance in hell I would let most of these people move on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go to heaven with any fucks. You kidding me? Go to hell. And I suck. So it's like, bro.
Well, here you don't suck. Bro, what?
It's like, bro,
you gotta stop talking about yourself like that.
Dude,
no, dude.
People don't realize like you gotta improve to move on. So everyone just comes here and just rides the ride.
Yeah.
And it's a shitty ride. And they don't try to improve it. That's what people don't realize too. The people that are in charge are making it harder for us to improve.
Yeah.
They're making the world worse and worse.
Yeah.
They're making it harder and harder to improve. So you die and come back, and then you're coming back to a shittier world. So
let me ask you this. For right now, or what is it, December 23rd or whatever. Right now, as of 2023, are you better than where you were 5 years ago?
In some ways, but in other ways, I'm worse.
Like what?
I don't know, bro. Like I'm not as like disciplined as I used to be.
Okay.
Like, I might be like more.
But that's a fixable issue though. That's a fixable issue.
Fixable, but it's harder to create and break habits when you're older too. So
yes, it is. Yeah, it is. But
the older you get, the better you get at some things, and the worse you get at some things. That's just like how life is.
I guess. Let me ask you this: career-wise, you're 5 years better than where you were.
That's a lame way to look at things,
but I'm asking you, yes or no?
Yeah, but that's not like the conversation.
It's not. Right? But hold on, I'm getting to it. I'm going somewhere with this. So career-wise, you're better than where you were 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's, I guess what I'm getting at is this: is like when you start looking at the world versus Logan, and you start looking at yourself and being like, who am I? Where I was 5 years ago, and you just said it right now. Like, you know, one of your faults is the discipline spot, and I'm guilty of that as well. But I think what it is in life, and this is just me speaking, just for me, I think life is about challenging yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's like, does the government really fucking care about what Logan wants or what's to do? No, Logan wants to do what Logan wants to do.
Yeah, they care about they're influencing all of us.
Right, I get that. But my thing is this, is like, I think for life...
They care so much, they'll ban people from speaking the truth online.
Fuck it, whatever. But my point...
That's not okay. See, everyone's just like, fuck it.
Yeah,
fuck it to everything. You're going to be
because
saying fuck it when they put the dick in your ass.
When you die, Logan, are you going to think about... Man, I wish I would come back. If you don't, let's just do this hype, because I know you like
easy way out.
I know you like hypotheticals.
High five, Jesus.
I know you like hypotheticals.
And we're gonna both say George Bush was a bad man.
Logan,
get real, bro.
Hypothetically, if there was no afterlife, like a reincarnation, and you had one shot, right? And this was it. Are you going to lay on your deathbed and be like, damn, I wish I'd have been able to say this online or this and that? Like, I wish I would have been more vocal or whatever. Is that what's going to be on your mind? No. Fuck, like, all that shit. Dude, what's no.
Ice cream sundae.
It's not, dude.
You go to heaven, bro. That's what everyone wants to think.
No, man. That's the thing. It's like, all that shit's, this podcast, Like everyone's perspective, everyone's political views, every all their beliefs is not going to be the last few thoughts on your mind. It's not.
What are most people's last thought?
Probably like, damn,
I wish I had
Yeah.
a great life. I wish I was living life.
Maybe.
People are just so basic as fuck, bro.
Hey,
Wish you would have died sooner, dumbass.
I'll say this much: if anything happened to me, right, if I was to pass away even tomorrow, I would be very happy with my life. It's not perfect, but I got to experience it all. I didn't get to travel as much as I wanted to, but like, there's people. I have friends that passed away when in my 20s. You know what I mean? That will never be able to hold their child, that would never become the boss that they wanted to be, that never got to be the musician that they wanted to be. You and I literally are living on their behalf, because they, for a fact, if they could, they would do anything to switch our spots. The fact that we're bro, you think they would like you? Do you think
you want to come back here?
What?
You want to come back here?
If I died wanting to have a family and I didn't get to experience that, you damn right I would.
I don't ever want to come back here.
I don't know. Not
God, take me now. I don't ever. And when I die, I don't ever want to come back. If I have to, I have to. But
yeah,
and I think everyone has to until they get it right. But geez,
I
do never want to come back.
I think you and
this place is miserable.
I think you and I, for the friends that we lost when we were younger, I think we owe it to them.
Well, I didn't lose.
I lost
really lost a bunch of people.
I've lost quite a few. I've lost quite a few, and for me, I feel like I have an obligation to live the best that I can for them, because it's like they're not going to experience that. You know what I mean? They're not going to get married. They're not going to have kids. And I'm sure when they were younger and we were playing Pokemon cards or we were doing whatever, that was like in the cards. But now that's all gone and they're not coming back. So now, to me, and that's why I think that's the reason why I'm so happy, is because it's like, man, when I wake up, I could have died. I could have had a stroke in my sleep, whatever. But the fact it's like I'm alive, I have another opportunity. I can try to do something different. I can, improve on stuff. And again, that's where I go back to life is about trying to improve who you are from where you were 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I said, man, I get what you're saying, though. It sucks that, this world isn't perfect. And you know what? To be honest with you, I don't ever think it was perfect to begin with.
No, it never was.
And it never will be. It never will be. It never will be. That's just the reality that we live in. But
I don't want to see these. I don't know how it was a long time ago, but I just can't stand to see the people that are in charge of it now and the way they're doing it. So.
Man, honestly, dude, it's gonna be like this. It's always gonna be like this. You think the politicians during the Roman Empire?
For sure, is gonna be if you say that.
But do you think that the Roman Empire, those politicians, do you think they had what was the best interest at heart for the people that they served? No. In fact, most of these empires, they collapsed from within because of the corruption.
You can't just.
It's just history repeats itself over and over.
I know,
and
sometimes these places get overthrown and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But that's what I'm saying. Live up where you can, dude. Live it up where you can. You know what I mean? Take that girl on a date. Have that baby.
Care about that shit.
If you don't, then that's fine. But what I'm saying is like this ride, we don't know when it stops.
I know. My excitement is when I change people's minds and when I fucking wake them up to the truth, and that never happens anymore.
And that's
your purpose. I don't give a shit
purpose.
about going on no date.
That's your purpose.
Or none of that other shit. Fucking voting and.
That's your purpose.
Like
you know what you are? You're two things. One, you're a problem solver, okay, and the other is you create discussions. You open minds. You talk to people. That's your purpose. I feel like it's more than that, but I feel like those two things are what you do.
I'm just a problem for y'all dumbasses. And I'm not going away.
No, he's not. And if anybody has any difference of opinions on what Logan says or what I say, we're open to hearing those in the comment section. So if you feel differently about any of the stuff that we've talked about, please feel free to put in the comment section what your thoughts are regarding COVID or whatever we discussed. Because honestly, man, and we talked shit up to those guys earlier in the comment section, and I should have probably handled that a little bit better. But my thing is this: I love having a discussion. Yeah. You know what I mean? And throwing insults and stuff like that, like that's childish to me, and I'm a sucker for that. Like I said, I troll on Instagram hardcore, but overall, like I said, having that, and even if your opinion is different from mine, I want to hear why, because maybe you have a point that I just haven't seen yet. Logan does it to me all the time. Like when he's trying to bring a point across, it's always from a different perspective that I've never put into consideration. So, I love this podcast, man. I love, like I said, the feedback that we get, and even the criticism, constructive, whether it's good or not, we're definitely open to it. So, how long is this episode going?
Shit, I don't know. You got anything else you want to drop before we get out of here?
Man, let me see. Honestly, we're about to break into the new year. I think the next episode is going to be, what's the 30th, I think, or the 20?
It'll be the weekend of
before
New
the
Year's.
So maybe we'll do one more episode before the new year.
Yeah.
The goal right now is really just to get the ball rolling on this. And really, as much as, again, Logan's very strong on his opinion, and I can be a little wishy-washy on my stuff. We do love having these conversations at work, and we want to have these conversations with you as well. And we're looking forward to next year, because we know that next year is going to bring some really good things.
Yeah. Hit us with future topics y'all want to see.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we need to create more content.
We started doing the clips.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, they're going to...
You thinking like out and about when we go, like out to eat and
Bro,
shit?
I told you that we should have been doing that. Yeah. Because here's the thing, ladies, as much as Logan is with his stuff, he really is he's a sweetheart. No, I'm just kidding. But no, we will be putting like little video clips and stuff like that, because we want to interact with y'all. We don't want it to be. And if you do have, again, like if you want to message us, feel free to. You don't have Instagram yet, but you're gonna create one.
Should I make one for the show?
I say we do, man, because people are gonna want to hear this. And if you want to reach out to me, the _ Jim _ Sith _ Lord. I don't know why, but that's what it is. So feel free to follow me, reach out to me, DM me if you have any suggestions or comments. We need to get a future guest coming soon, right?
You want to do that soon?
I think that'd be a good idea.
The next one, or maybe after the new year?
After the new year, for sure.
I have people chomping at the bit, so...
Yeah.
We're almost going to have a waiting list. But now that's a good thing. We got plenty of people that want to come on here and give their wisdom on, like, their life or their career, and then, like, just shoot the shit with us and do what we do, recover topics and shit, so...
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode, the new year.
Yeah.
We're going to try to improve every time, like we said. So give us any criticism, comments, ideas for the next episode.
And have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, have a good Christmas. It's all about the fam. So have a good holiday. Be safe.
All right, man.
All right, peace out.
Later. Man, what the hell was I doing?